Hopefully everybody's getting settled in. We will pick up where we left off this morning. Give me 1 second here.
From the surf in San Diego to the courtroom stream, SD walks in like she owns the scene. Pelo multicolor shining in the sun. She cracks one joke, chat laughing as one. She throws preguntas bien chidas, sharp like a blade. Cross exam queen, nunca tiene a grade. And that dance so spicy. Cali mistakes close, she brings the fuego, everybody knows. Cuando Jason llega, ay caray, she flirts poquito. He just says hi, sweet pea laughs. Aquí vamos otra vez, SD drops the fuego and the chat says yes. She's fuego, fuego, lighting up the show. Tex-Mex in the chat, everybody knows. Con su risa, su vibra y su pelo tan cool, she turns the live stream to a cumbia taboo. Fuego, fuego, SD's the queen. Spanglish magic en la chat screen. When she pops on camera, we all say que show. Latina sparkle with that California glow. Los mos la quieren, they hype her name. She adds flair y sabor to the game. ¿Qué onda, gente? And here comes the fun. El chat se enciende like under the sun. When she teases Jason, boy, behave. But without a chaos, this chat ain't the same. Bailalo, mija, with your Tex-Mex vibe. Bring the cumbia flow, keep it alive. Stay with the groove, don't ever stop. Shake up the stream till we're all on top. She's fuego, fuego. Let her up the show. Tex-Mex in the chat that everybody knows. Con su risa, su vibra y su pelo tan cool, she turns the live stream to a Latin dance floor. Fuego, fuego, SD's the queen. Spanglish magic en la chat screen. Each girl sparkle, courtroom delight. SD keeps the chat shining bright. Sweet pea, the mods, we all agree. Take it to trial, ain't the same without SD.
All right. I figure I'd get us in the mood. Oh shoot, it's about to keep playing. Wait a minute. I got it on replay. Just keep playing it. Okay. So let me get us all set up. Let me get this up on the screen. Give me 2 seconds here. We got our lady, Debbie. We got old Debbie on here. We gonna hit her at a 1.5. Y'all let me know if that's too fast for us. As we going through this, we know she talk about a whole bunch of financial stuff that I don't know. Let y'all take your notes on it. Who knows? I don't know what that's about. Okay, so we will do that, and we'll see what she's talking about. All right, guys.
You say defendant's bank accounts. Did it go to did the monies go to multiple accounts or just one?
Multiple accounts.
Okay. The board S28. Can you just tell us which accounts you saw money going into in 2017 and 18 from the TD Trust checking account 5465?
Yes, collectively for both years, funds went into account number 2 in the name of Paul Caneiro, TD Bank, ending in 3837. Funds in both years went into the joint account of Paul and Susan Caneiro at TD Bank, ending in 3760. And in 2017, funds went into the account of Caitlin Caneiro and Paul Caneiro at TD Bank, ending in 3886.
Detective, when you prepared your report and your summary chart of the defendant's sources of revenue for the years 2017 and 18, did you include these funds in that chart?
Yes, I did.
Detective, I previously showed you what's been marked as S40A, the sources of revenue. Judge, the state would seek permission to publish that.
Any objection?
No.
You got it.
Detective, when you looked at the defendant's sources of revenue for the years 2017 and 2018, were you able to identify any steady or consistent streams of revenue that you received for those years?
Yes, I did.
And on the chart specifically, can you point to us where that would be?
Yes, steady streams of revenue occurred in the category titled disability, also business income, and under the title Keith Caneiro Irrevocable Trust, which is under additional revenue sources.
Now, there are other sources of revenue on that chart, right?
Yes,
What were those, generally speaking?
could be a loan, could be a distribution from a 401k, it could be one-off deposits into the account as a revenue stream.
Let's start with the first category, disability insurance payments. What is listed as the first item under that category?
The first item is disability benefits that came from U.S. Treasury Social Security. In 2017, the total was $141,364, and in 2018, the total is $29,352.
Now, for the year 2017 and 2018, did all of those payments go into one of those four accounts of the defendants?
Yes,
Which one was that?
into account number 2, ending in 3837.
For the time frame of 2018, you indicated that the defendant received $29,352.
Yes,
Do you recall what dates he received those payments on?
they were typically monthly payments in amounts ranging from $1,700 through $2,527.
The second category says Sun Life disability insurance payments. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And can you just explain to us what that is?
Yes, Jay Martin, also known as Square One, had used Sun Life as their company to provide disability to employees. That's where Sun Life comes in through the company.
Okay. And in 2017, how much did the defendant collect for that?
$60,000 in 2017, and in 2018, $9,540.
Now, in 2017, what bank account did those funds go into?
These funds went into account number 2, 3837
And
at
how
TD
about
Bank.
in 2018?
In 18, there were 2 checks. Excuse me. In 18, they went into account 2, 3837. I want to retract that. In 18, there were 2 checks in November and December of 18, and they went into the joint account of Susan and Paul Caneiro, ending in 3760.
Do you recall the specific dates of those 2 checks in 2018?
Yes. One check is dated November 20th, 2018, in the amount of $2,110. And the second check is dated December 20th, 2018, in the amount of $7,430.
The next category says Unum disability insurance payments. What is that?
Unum Disability is a private disability plan obtained by the defendant.
In 2017, how much revenue did the defendant receive from that plan?
In both years, he received the same amount, which is $104,390 into account number 2, ending in 3837.
Okay. The next category lists business income. Do you see that?
Yes,
And the first item under there, I'm going to draw your attention to where it says J. Martin Square One. Do you see that?
yes.
Okay. Now, in 2017, how much revenue did the defendant and his family receive through payroll from the businesses?
In 2017, $108,636. In 2018, the amount is $117,851
Just to clarify, does that reflect a gross or net?
gross.
Now, in 2017, was there also an auto reimbursement that the defendant and his family received?
Yes,
What was that?
$27,290.11. And in 2018, $36,627.19.
Was that a lump sum or something else?
It was a lump sum added into the paycheck.
Did they receive it all at once, I'm asking, or was it put into the paycheck each pay period?
It was put into the paycheck.
Okay.
So you would have gross pay plus the auto reimbursement, then the deductions.
Understood. What, if any, other benefits did the defendant and his family receive through the businesses?
The business paid their health insurance.
And the next category under business is EcoStar. Do you see that?
Yes.
And for 2017, what was the amount that was received through income from the payroll to the defendant and his family?
$5,400 in 2017, and in 2018, $26,400
And again, does that reflect gross or net?
gross.
Now, I should back up. I should have asked you this. Let's go back for a second to J. Martin Square One. In 2017, that $108,636, which account did that go into?
That went into the defendant's account. One moment.
Just if you're referring to your report.
I am referring to my report. Okay. In 2017, all the deposits were deposited into Affinity Federal Credit Union, account number 4. In 2018, they continued to be deposited into that account. However, on October 12th, 2018, through the end of November 2018, those deposits also went into account number 2, 3837.
And just to clarify, 3837 and 1515 account?
5502. Same, interchangeable. If you hear us say 1515 or 5502, the account was one number and then the bank changed it over to another number. It's the same account.
Whose names were those accounts in?
5502 is in the name of Paul Caneiro.
And 3837 as well.
Correct.
We just spoke about EcoStar, and you indicated that I believe in 2017 the payment was $5,400 for that year. What bank account did that go into?
Those deposits, I'm referring to my report, in 2017.
And I would draw your attention to page 4 of S39.
Yes, went into account 2, 3837.
Okay, and how about in 2018?
Those deposits also went into 3837. But again, later on in 2018, from October 19th, 18 through November 30th, they also went into 5502.
Okay. And the next category is Pacific Life Insurance Company.
Yes,
And there's just the 1 year there, 2017.
yes.
Okay. What is Pacific Life Insurance Company?
Pacific Life Insurance Company is a company that the business paid quarterly premium payments for life insurance. When you are on disability, your quarterly premium stops. So the business paid those quarterly premiums. At this point, the defendant, Paul Caneiro, was on disability. So this amount of $3,665.95 reflects Pacific Life giving back that premium payment, which he deposited into his account 23837. It's a one-off deposit.
Thank you. The next category is loans from 401k. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
In total, in 2017 and 2018, how many loans were taken from the 401k?
Actually, in 17, there's one, and it is a distribution of $28,350.
Okay. Do you recall the date that was distributed?
April 4th, 2017 is when it was applied for. And on April 14th, 2017 is when the deposit occurred into account number 3, ending in 3760, the joint account of Paul and Susan Caneiro.
Do you recall I'm going to draw your attention to April 14th of 2017. Was there any monies later transferred on that date from that sum into a different account?
Yes. So on April 14th, 2017, the $28,350 was deposited into the joint account 3760. 3 days later, on April 17th, a transfer was made from that account number 3, into account number 2, the defendant's account at TD Bank ending in 3837. The amount of the transfer was $27,200.
I'm going to draw your attention to the next category, which is April of 2018. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, and just explain to us what we're looking at here and what that source of revenue that came from.
Okay. This is a loan taken out from their employer's 401k. The loan was applied for on April 23rd, 2018.
And how much was that loan?
$14,000. The amount deposited into the account after fees was $14,093.74.
Okay. When was that amount deposited?
The amount of the deposit after the fees was on April 30th, 2018, and it came from Ameritrade Trust Company in the amount of $14,008.74, and that was deposited into the joint account with Susan and Paul Caneiro, account 3, ending in 3760.
Was any monies transferred from there into any of the defendant's other accounts?
Yes, on the same day, $14,000 was transferred into account 2, number 3837.
And finally, under May of 2018, do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, and what are we looking at here?
This was a distribution. It was a hardship withdrawal applied for by Susan Caneiro in the amount of $50,000. After withholdings, deposit in the amount of $43,672.50 was deposited into the joint account of Paul and Susan Caneiro, account 3760, and that deposit occurred on May 15th, 2018.
Was money transferred from that account, from that deposit anywhere else?
Yes, of the $43,672.50 that was deposited into the account, on the exact same day, $43,000 was transferred out and into the defendant's account number 2, ending in 3837.
Next category is bank account revenue sources. Do you see that?
Yes.
What are we looking at here?
Bank account revenue sources, consider this a revenue stream because in 2017, a total of $12,346.72 came into the defendant's account number 2, 3837. The transfers all came from Square One, which is account number 6, J. Martin Consulting, Square One operating account. So transfers came in from the operating account, stayed in the defendant's account, funds were not paid back, so it's on the chart as a revenue stream for 2017.
Now, in 2018, it looks like $21,548.86. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, and there's a little bit of a negative sign.
A negative.
Okay, what does that reflect?
Okay. So in this year, there was approximately 5,000 and change. I can be exact if you have bank statements in front of me, but there was a transfer from the same Square One account for over $5,000 into the defendant's personal account number 2 at 3837. After that, there were 4 transfers back into that business account. And those 4 transfers back totaled approximately $27,000. What I did is gave the defendant credit because I'll make it easy math. 5 came in, 27 went back. The difference is 22. That's easy math. I can give you the exact dates and amounts of the transfers and give you the exact. So I gave him credit for $21,548.86.
That's okay. Is that the accurate amount?
Yes.
That's on the chart?
Yes.
Okay. So essentially the defendant paid money from his personal account into the operating account?
Yes.
Okay. Was that from 3837?
Yes.
Okay. And then finally underneath we have EcoStar operating account. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In 2018 was an amount. What is that?
$4,700.
Okay. And can you explain that to us?
Yes. In 2018, there were 4 transfers that went from EcoStar Pest Management Inc. operating account ending in 7234, which is number 8 on your chart. The dates and the amounts were as follows. On September 12, 2018, $2,500. On September 13, 2018, $500. On September 18, 2018, $1,000. On October 18, 2018, $700, totaling $4,700 into the defendant's account.
Okay. And then the next sources of revenue, it says additional revenue sources. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. The first category says checks from seller Shepo. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. For 2017, what is the total?
$2,257.
And 2018.
$920.99.
Next category says Penn State University refunds. Do you see that?
Yes.
For 2017, how much was that?
$4,414.
And what was that essentially?
A refund from Penn State University.
Okay. And then the next category is Chubb Insurance Company. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And just refresh us as to what that is.
That is the company where the defendant maintains his homeowner's insurance policy.
Okay. And for 2018, you list $73,512. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And was that all one lump sum or was it broken up?
No, there was a Chubb payout on 2 separate claims. One claim was in the amount of $62,753.68. That claim was in February of 2018. And then in March 2nd, 2018, a second claim in the amount of $10,759 was paid out. So this was a one-off revenue stream for those years and they were included as a revenue stream.
Okay. The next category that you have is, I believe for the next category is the Keith Caneiro irrevocable trust TD Bank 5465. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Is this the TD trust account that we have been speaking about?
Yes.
Okay. And it's listed as number 1 up on the number S28.
Yes.
Explain to us what we're looking at in your summary chart for 2017-18, please.
In 2017, a total of $33,680 was deposited into accounts in the defendant's name or joint accounts in the defendant's name.
From where?
These were deposited into account 2, Paul Caneiro, ending in 3837. The joint account number 3, Paul Caneiro, Susan Caneiro, ending in 3760. And account number 5, Caitlin Caneiro and Paul Caneiro, ending in 3886.
Okay, but just to be clear, the $33,680, that came from where?
It came from the account number 1, ending in 5465, the Keith Caneiro Irrevocable Trust Agreement dated 7/27/99.
And how about 2018? How much revenue did the defendant receive from that TD trust account?
$44,500.
I want to discuss and stay on. You know what, before we do that, let me ask you this. How did you first identify these electronic transfers out of that trust account into the defendant's bank accounts?
In reviewing the bank statements for the trust account, again, when I refer to the trust account, it's account number 1. I saw where the money was coming from. I then went back to those source documents and I saw where the money was going to, and I went to those source documents, bank accounts, or companies,
So just to clarify, during the course of your investigation of all of the bank accounts, what did you review first?
trust account,
And from there, that led you to,
other accounts. So from there, when I saw the sources coming in, which was payroll and the businesses, I then through legal process obtained business accounts, bank accounts for both businesses, operating and payroll. I also received documentation from the payroll companies. I saw funds going out to Canada Life, so I was able to get through legal process documents from Canada Life. I saw payments, also transfers being made to account number 2, Paul Caneiro, ending in 3837 at TD Bank. I saw transfers going to Paul and Susan's account at TD Bank, account number 3, ending in 3760. And I also saw a transfer going to Caitlin and Paul Caneiro at TD Bank, ending in 3886.
okay, we spoke about this earlier, but I just want to be clear. Now, in 2017, the defendant did pay some money from his personal bank account directly to Canada Life, right?
Yes.
Okay. And specifically, that is reflected or was reflected in S40B under expenses for 2017, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that was $19,880.
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall which account that came from?
The 2 payments for $19,880. I just want to go back to refer to my report. They were made from account 2 ending in 3837.
What types of transactions were those payments?
They were electronic payments made to Canada Life.
Was there any sort of corroborating documentation that you reviewed from Canada Life indicating that the insurance company did in fact receive those payments from the defendant?
Yes, there were checks. So when I say it was electronic transfer, online bill pay, the recipient of the bill pay actually gets a check number on bill pay, even though it's an electronic submission. They receive a check.
I'm showing counsel what's marked as S4748. Judge, may I approach first?
Yeah. Thank you.
Detective, if you can look at S47 first, what are we looking at?
S47 is a check paid to Canada Life Assurance Company. It's dated July 19th, 2017, in the amount of $8,000. And this came from the account of Paul Caneiro at TD Bank, account number ending in 3837.
Okay. And S48 is what?
S48 is a check paid to Canada Life Assurance Company in the amount of $11,880, dated August 2nd, 2017. This check was issued from the account of Paul Caneiro at TD Bank, ending in 3837.
Detective, I want to talk to you about the defendant's bank account 3837, specifically for the year 2017. If I showed you that bank account, would you be able to identify for us each transaction in that account where the defendant transferred money out of that TD Trust account into 3837?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked, and I'll show counsel first as S29. Detective, I showed you S39. Do you recognize that?
I do.
I'm sorry, 29. But for S29, I believe that is.
Yes.
What is that?
This is a TD Bank account in the name of Paul Caneiro. Account number ending in 3837. The statement period begins on December 24th, 2016.
Would the state would seek permission to publish the bank account and bank statements?
Counsel?
No objection, Judge.
Okay, you can.
Oh, you just have to, there's a good undo button up there.
Should be in the bottom corner there. It's undo button. Do we have the little stylus for her? The witness?
On your screen,
Yes.
in the corner, there's a little undo button right hand corner.
Here.
Yeah, you should pop up and you just hold
Is that
it
it?
down. Yeah, 2 seconds.
It's in the black area on the right. You can almost not see it.
All the way to the right in the bottom corner.
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it.
Yes.
One more. Yeah.
All right.
We can go to the first page just to orient us. At the top of the page, on the right where it says statement period, what is that?
December 24th, 2016 through January 23rd, 2017.
Okay. What dates of the month do the bank statements start and end on here?
They start on the 24th, they end on the 23rd.
Okay, just to clarify, pages are numbered that way, so with the 24th being page 1, and then the 20, or the last page would be the last page. The last
Correct.
page, okay. We can go to page 3, please, for a moment. Just to get us familiar with the layout of this. So the top right of the page up there, what are we looking at? What date is this?
It's dated statement period December 24th, 2016 through January 23rd, 2017. The first transaction on the statement is dated January 3rd, which would be 2017,
And the account number on this is what?
ending in 3837.
Detective, if I ask you to identify each time that a transfer was made into this account from the TD Trust Bank account, would you be able to do that?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to direct your attention. If we could please go to February 16th. Detective, during this time period and on this page, February 16th, do you see any transfers coming in from that TD checking account?
I do.
And can you point that out for us?
On February 16th, an electronic transfer credit occurred in the amount of $2,400.
Can we scroll up just a little bit so we can see the debits? And just please go up to just the top of the page if you could. all right, so just to be clear, so, it says debit, right?
Yes,
And then credit,
yes,
okay, and then balance, those are the
Correct.
columns. All right, you just, I'm sorry, go back to February 16th, thank you. Can you circle for us where you see that?
$2,400.
Yes. And then just circle for us or underline the last four digits of the bank account from which that came. Okay. I'm gonna direct your attention now to March 17th. Oh, actually,
Stay there for a minute. We gotta go back.
I have to hit undo.
Enough. Hold on for a minute. Go back. Set it back up where it was. No, down to the 2400. Oh, too far.
sorry, just touch. I know, it's touching.
Okay. Can we print that? That is S29.1. All right. We can now undo it. Thank you.
Okay, I'll direct your attention now to March 17th. Detective, do you see any transfers on March 17th from the TD Trust account?
Yes,
Can you please identify that by circling it?
there was a deposit in the amount of $1,500, which was an electronic transfer credit from the trust on March 17th.
Can you just underline the last four digits from where it came? Thank you.
We can print that. That's S29.2. You can undo it. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm gonna draw your attention now to April 7th. Do you see any transfers on April 7th from the trust account on that date?
Yes,
And same thing, if you could circle it and underline the last four digits.
$1,000.
Print that, please. 29.3. You can undo it. Thank you.
When we get there, if you could let us know if you see any transfers from the TD Trust checking account on that date.
$2,000 transfer on June 16th.
29.4. Print.
I'm gonna direct your attention to June 20th.
$4,000 transfer, electronic.
Print that as 29.5, please.
I'm gonna direct your attention now, if we can go to July 21st of 2017. Detective, I'm gonna draw your attention to July 21st of 2017. It looks like there's a number of transactions, but the second one from the top, you see that?
To Canada Life?
Yes.
Yes.
Kind of like, okay. And that was for $8,000?
Yes,
Okay, does that correspond with the checks that I showed you that went to Canada Life?
yes,
And that is from the defendant's account, that's him paying Canada Life?
yes.
Now, it says next to 721, just tell us what that says.
TD Bank bill paycheck, Canada Life Assurance Company, check number 995345.
Thank you. If we could please go, I'm gonna direct your attention to July 28th now. Transfers from the TD account on that date.
$7,000 on July 28th.
Print that also, 29.7. can undo that one. Thank you.
Detective, you can undo the. I'm gonna direct your attention, if we could go to August 2nd of 2017. Detective, you see where there's a payment of $11,880
Yes,
to Canada Life?
yes,
Okay, and again, does this correspond to one of the two checks, payments that the defendant did in fact make to Canada Life from this bank account in 2017?
yes.
Okay, I was like, you don't have to circle it, we didn't circle the last one, I just want to remain consistent, I just want to point it out though for the jury. And is there a check number under Canada Life Insurance Company?
Yes.
If we can, I'm going to direct your attention now to December 1st. Detective, do you see any transfers on, I think we can just go up a little bit. Do you see any transfers here on December 1st?
10,500.
Thank you. You're underlining for the record, the last four digits, 5465.
Yes.
Print that as 29.8. You can undo it.
I'm going to direct your attention now to 1218. Transfers here from the TD checking account that you see?
Yes, 2,500 from account 5465.
29.9. Please print. You can undo it.
Finally, I'm going to direct your attention to 1227. Any transfers from the TD checking account here that you see on 1227?
Yes, $1,000 from 5465.
Print that as 29.10.
Take this down. I'm showing counsel what has been marked. Actually, let me ask the question. Detective, you indicated that you noticed in 2017 multiple transfers going into multiple of the defendant's bank accounts for that year.
Yes.
Did you notice any going into the joint checking account 3760 in 2017?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as S33. I'm showing counsel. Yes. I don't know if those usually. I'll take that one. Detective, do you recognize S33?
Yes, these are TD Bank statements in the name of Paul Caneiro and Susan Caneiro, ending in account number 3760, which is number 3 on the chart. And this is for the statement period December 24th, 2016 through January 23rd, 2017.
And just for the record, how many transfers, if you recall, were into this account for 2017 from the TD Trust account?
One transfer.
One. Okay. Judge, permission to publish?
Counsel?
No objection, Judge.
Okay, you can.
Okay, just orient us again, the top of the page. What are we looking at the right? The date?
The statement period is December 24th, 2016 through January 23rd, 2017, involving account number 3760. This is a joint account with Paul and Susan Caneiro at TD Bank.
Okay, but despite the date, this is the entire year of 2017. Is that right, these records?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to direct your attention to May 9th. Detective, do you see any transfers coming in from the TD Trust account on that date?
1,500 on May 9th.
Print that as 33.1.
Detective, we can take this down, please. Thank you. Detective, which of the other bank accounts that the defendant had, did you notice any transfers coming from the TD Trust checking account in 2017?
There was a transfer made to the TD Bank account with Caitlin and Paul Caneiro, ending in 3886.
How many?
One.
Just one. Showing counsel S35. I'm showing you what's been marked as S35. Let's have the other ones back. Detective, do you recognize that?
I do.
What is that?
These are TD Bank statements in the name of Caitlin Caneiro, Paul Caneiro, ending in account number 3886, and the statement period is December 14th, 2016 through January 13th, 2017.
Permission to publish.
No objection.
Ken?
Detective, what is the last four digits on this account?
3886?
And just to be clear, are these the statements from 3886 for the entirety of 2017?
Yes.
I'm going to refer your attention to February 21st. Yes, I'm sorry. Just make sure. Detective, on December 21st, did you see any transfers from the TD trust account into this account?
On February 21st, I do, $280 coming from the trust account.
Okay, I see that you've underlined the amount and underlined the last four digits.
Yes.
35.1, please print.
Take those back. In sum, Detective, what was the total amount of transfers from the TD Trust account 5465 into the defendant's bank accounts in 2017?
$33,680.
I want to move on to 2018 now. On chart S40A, under sources of revenue, do you see where it reflects the TD Trust checking account?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the total amount there?
That amount is $44,500.
Which bank accounts of the defendants did those sums go into, or that sum go into?
Account 2, the defendant's account ending in 3837, and account 3, the joint account with the defendant and his wife ending in 3760.
So in 2018, how much money did the defendant pay to Canada Life, if any, from his personal bank accounts?
0.
If I were to show you the bank accounts for 2018, specifically 3837 first, would you be able to identify those transfers for us?
Yes.
I'm showing counsel, which is S30. Detective, do you recognize this?
I do.
What is that?
These are bank statements from TD Bank in the name of Paul Caneiro. Account number ending in 3837. The statement period covers December 24th, 2017 through January 23rd, 2018.
Like we did with 2017, would you be able to identify each of the transfers that the defendant made into this account from the TD Trust checking account?
Yes.
Permission to publish.
Go ahead.
Again, just to, for purposes of identification, is there a bank number on here?
Yes, the account number ends in 3837.
Okay, this is the entirety of the bank statements for 2018 from this account.
Yes.
I'd like to direct your attention to January 2nd. Do you see any transfers from the TD Trust account on January 2nd into this account?
$1,000.
Please print as 30.1.
Okay, just a second. Now, on January 10th, which is the same page, is there, okay, no, it's not, I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I'm going to direct your attention to January 10th. Did you see any transfers from the TD checking account into this account?
$500.
Please print as 30.2.
Directing your attention to January 22nd now. Do you see any transfers from the TD Trust checking account on that date into this account?
$2,500.
30.3.
Drawing your attention now, I'm sorry, you can take that off. Drawing your attention to February 5th. TD Trust checking account.
$2,200.
Let's not move for a second. And just make sure it's printed on the 30.3. Okay, so this would be 30.4.
Sorry, I'm going to direct your attention now to May 1st. Same thing, Detective, any transfers here?
$5,000.
Detective, just prior to this particular transfer on May 1st, did you see the previous transaction on May 1st, right above it?
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
That is an online mortgage payment to City Mortgage in the amount of $3,050.
After that payment was made, what was the defendant's balance here?
Negative $759.86.
Please print as 30.5.
Okay, you can erase that. Thank you. I'm going to draw your attention to 618 now. Actually, I'm sorry. Let's back up. If we could go to, I'm going to draw your attention to May 15th. Detective, on May 15th here, there's a number of transactions. I'm going to draw your attention to the second one on May 15th. Do you see that?
The amount,
The amount that went into this account.
$43,000.
And where did that come from?
That was a transfer from the joint account of Paul and Susan Caneiro, account ending in 3760.
And what does that, what if anything, does that correspond with that we spoke about earlier in terms of defendant sources of revenue?
It corresponds to the gross distribution that was taken out in May 2018, and the funds were deposited into the joint account. And from there, $43,000 was transferred into the defendant's account.
So on that date, when that $43,000 gets transferred into this account, what is the defendant's balance?
$1,137.61.
Okay, I'm going to direct your attention now to 618. Detective, do you see any transfers from the TD Trust checking account on this date?
$7,500,
Just prior to that, what was the balance?
$4,015.66.
Thank you.
Please print as 30.6. For the record purposes, each time that I'm saying to print them, the witness has circled the amount into the from where the transfer was coming from for the last 4 digits. Go ahead.
I'm going to draw your attention to July 16th now. Any transfers on this date from the trust account?
$4,500,
Thank you.
30.7.
Detective, if you can at least, thank you. I'm going to draw your attention to August 3rd.
$4,000.
And that's coming from TD Trust account.
Yes.
30.8 will be printed.
I'm going to go up now where it says, do you see where it says August 1st?
Yes.
It would be the 1, 2, 3, 4th August 1st transaction down.
Yes.
What is the balance there?
Negative $2,631.48.
What is the transaction right after it reflect?
An overdraft return fee.
And that's on August 2nd?
Yes.
The next transaction on August 2nd, what does that reflect?
An ACH returned item,
Of how much?
$3,050, which went to City Mortgage.
What does that mean, a returned item?
There was insufficient funds in the account.
On August 3rd, do you see any transfers from the TD Trust account into this account?
Yes, $4,000.
Just prior to that, on August 3rd, there's a deposit. Do you see that?
Yes.
And how much is that?
$441.76.
And that comes from where?
EcoStore Pest.
Thank you.
Printed as 30.8.
Draw your attention to August 17th. Any transfers here, Detective, from the trust account?
$2,500, account 5465.
What was the balance just prior to that on August 17th?
$452.84.
Thank you.
Print is 30.9.
Draw your attention to August 28th now.
$1,000 from account 5465.
Just prior to that transaction on August 28th, do you see that there's another transaction right above it on August 28th?
Yes,
What is that?
the transaction is an electronic payment to Bank of America,
For how much?
$1,333,
And then what is the balance after that?
negative $517.29.
Thank you.
Print is 30.10.
I'm going to draw your attention to September 4th.
$300,
From
5465.
just prior to that on September 4th. Like, so that takes place on September 4th, that transaction, the 300. Detective,
Yes,
just prior to that on September 4th, what is the defendant's balance?
$9.32.
Is there another transaction on September 4th that takes place?
Yes,
And specifically, what is that?
$200 is transferred to the joint account with Paul and Susan Caneiro, ending in account number 3760.
I'm sorry, I should have been clear. Is there any other, on 9/4, is there any other transactions? Missed that. I think it's actually above it. Are there
Yes.
any other transactions prior to this on 9/4 that, where money comes in from the TD Trust account into this account?
Yes, $1,000.
Thank you.
Print that as 30.11. Wait, hold on for a minute. Did you undo the one below it, the
Yes,
300? If we're circling both, this is all 30.11. You're going to need to reprint it. Circle it back,
sure.
please. And on the underline, so we'll print that one, and that will be 30.11. So for the record purposes, there's two areas that are circled on there. It's a $1,000 transfer and a $300 transfer for September 4th in two separate timeframes. Now you can undo it. Thank you.
I want to direct your attention now to September 7th. September 7th. One, two, three, four, five. I'm sorry. 1, 2. On the 4th, September 7th. 5th. On the 5th, September 7th transaction. Do you see that, Detective? Where it's
Yes.
all state?
Yes,
And there's a debit or a payment there?
yes.
How much is that?
The payment is in the amount of $5,283.35,
What is the defendant's balance after that?
negative $4,452.91.
And then the next transaction, do you see that where it says 9/7 Bank of America?
Yes,
And how much is that?
$1,446.47,
And what is the balance there?
negative $5,899.38.
Next transaction, 9/10, do you see that?
Yes,
Okay, and what specifically does that, what does that say?
it is a $200 debit. It's a debit card purchase,
Okay, and what is the balance after that?
negative $6,099.38.
Okay, and the next transaction on 9/10?
Is a electronic payment in the amount of $765.21.
Where's that to?
Volkswagen Credit Online, which is the lease for you sell Restrepo's Audi Q5,
And what is the balance after that?
negative $6,864.59.
Okay, I'm just gonna ask if we can just scroll up slowly. Okay, when do we see the defendant come out of the negative balances? What date?
On September 12th.
Okay, and that is based on a transaction
Based on a transfer,
of what?
an electronic transfer credit from checking account ending in 7234, which is account number 8 on the chart, the EcoStar Pest Management Operating Account.
Thank you. I'm going to draw your attention now to 9/17. Any transfers from the TD Trust account on this date?
1,300 from 5465.
After that, on that same date, is there a transaction?
Yes.
What is that?
On the same date, there's an electronic payment to Ally Financial Auto, online payment in the amount of $828.28,
And what is the defendant's balance after that?
negative $307.25.
I'm going to draw your attention to 10/4.
Let's print that. If we can print that as 30.12, please. Go ahead, counsel.
I'm going to draw your attention to, I just want to ask you about 9/18 on this page, the last transaction that we see here. Do you see that?
Yes,
That is, what are the last four digits on that account?
7234.
And what does that account correspond to?
That is the operating account to EcoStar Pest Management.
Okay. And how much, what is the transaction? What type of a transaction is it?
It's a $1,000 electronic transfer into the account.
Okay, and does that bring the balance out of the negative?
Yes,
And what is the balance now?
$513.97.
Would you please go direct your attention to 10-4? Any transactions or transfers on the state from the TD Trust account?
$1,500 from 5465.
And just prior to this transfer, still on 10-4, what was the defendant's balance?
Negative $868.07.
I'm gonna draw your attention now to, oh, I'm sorry.
Print that as 30.13.
I'll draw your attention now to 10-9. Any transfers?
$2,000 from account 5465.
Just prior to this transfer, still on 10-9, what was the defendant's balance here?
Negative $1,628.51.
We can print that as 30.14.
I will draw your attention now to 10-15. Any transfers from the TD Trust account here?
$1,200 from 5465.
Thank you.
Print as 30.15.
I'd like to draw your attention now to 10-29. Any transfers here from the TD Trust account?
$2,000 from 5465.
I'd like to draw your attention to,
That'll be 30.16.
drawing your attention to November 8th now.
$1,000 from 5465.
Printed as 30.17.
I'll draw your attention now to 11-15. Any transfers?
$1,300 from 5465.
30.18.
Prior to this transfer, what was the balance?
$380.12.
You can just scroll up a little bit. Up, sorry, down. Just to the next page. There's 11-15 through it now, so let's, if we can just scroll down a little bit to the 19th. Now from 11-15, hold on a second, I just don't want you to circle anything yet. From 11-15 to November 19th now, November 19th of 2018, did the defendant's balance remain in the negative?
Yes, it did.
Or actually, there is one, I'm sorry, so go back please to 11-15. Okay, on 11-15, we see an IRS check payment, do you see that? Very top.
Yes,
What was that for, how much?
$1,265.
And the balance is what?
Negative $24.41.
On what date does the defendant's balance come back into the positive numbers?
November 16th.
Okay, and that is after what?
A payroll check from J. Martin Consulting.
Okay, and then on that same date, do we see the balance go back into the negative?
Yes,
And it stays in the negative until when?
stays in the negative up through November 19th, where it became in the positive.
Now, I'm going to draw your attention to November 15th. Again, and you circled it before, so I apologize, but do you see any transfers on this date from the TD Trust account?
On November 15th,
Yes. Oh, we did that already. I'm sorry. November 19th. That's my mistake. November 19th.
$1,200 coming from 5465.
Okay, and just to be clear, we're talking about November 19th of 2020?
Of
18,
2018,
Okay.
November 19th.
After that date, are there any other transfers?
Can we print that as 30.19? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Are there any other transfers after the 19th from that TD Trust checking account into any of the defendant's accounts?
No,
Thank you. Okay, you can take this down. 2018, were there any transfers made into the defendant's joint checking account 3760 from the TD Trust checking account?
Yes,
How many?
one.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as S34. I'll take this out from you. Do you recognize S34?
Yes,
What is that?
it's TD Bank statements in the names of Paul and Susan Caneiro, account number ending in 3760. And this statement period starts December 24th, 2017 through January 23rd, 2018.
Permission to publish?
Sorry.
No objection.
You can.
And just very first page, what is the account number listed, last four digits?
3760?
And this is the entirety of the bank statements for 2018 from 3760.
Yes, it is.
I'll draw your attention to September 7th, please. And when we get there, tell me if you see any transfers from the TD checking account into this account on that date.
Yes, $1,000 from 5465.
Thank you.
Print is 34.1.
So the overall total amount of money that was transferred in total into the defendant's personal bank accounts from that TD Trust checking account 5465 in 2018 is what?
$44,500.
And just to be clear, were any monies from the defendant's personal accounts, personal bank accounts,
It paid the quarterly premium, and half of it went to be applied as a loan payment.
okay? In that same year, 2017, what if any other payments were made out of the trust account to Canada Life?
On October 10th, 2017, a payment was made in the amount of 10.
Bank statements for 2017, did those bank statements corroborate those payments?
Yes,
Was there any corroborating documentation from Canada Life as well?
yes,
And what was that?
checks.
Specifically, how many?
2 checks,
Three sound right?
3 for the $15,709.20.
I'm showing counsel what's been marked as S49, 50, and 51. Let's start with S49, Detective, do you recognize that?
Yes,
What is that?
this is a check issued from the TD Bank, account titled ATF Keith Caneiro, irrevocable, agreement dated 7/27/1999. This is check number 220, payable to Canada Life in the amount of $7,854.60. It is dated December 27th, 2016, but it was recorded and received at Canada Life on January 3rd, 2017.
You can look at S50, please. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
What is that?
this is a check issued from TD Bank with the account holder of ATF Keith Caneiro, irrevocable, agreement dated 7/27/1999. The check is payable to Canada Life in the amount of $7,854.60 and is dated December 27th, 2016, but was credited on January 3rd, 2017.
And finally, I'm going to ask you to take a look at S51. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
What is that?
this is a check issued from the Keith Caneiro irrevocable agreement dated 7/27/99. The check is in the amount of $10,000 payable to Canada Life dated October 11th, 2017.
I'll take this back from you. Detective, in 2018, were any payments made from that TD Trust checking account to Canada Life?
Yes,
How many?
one payment,
And what was the amount of that?
$8,500.
Did the TD Trust checking account reflect that payment? Was
Yes,
there any corroborating documentation from Canada Life?
yes, a check.
Thank you. Showing counsel S52. Detective, I'm showing you S52. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
What is that?
this is a check issued to Canada Life Assurance Company in the amount of $8,500. It's dated April 5th, 2018, and this is drawn on TD Bank, account 5465, titled ATF Keith Caneiro, irrevocable trust, agreement dated 7/27/99.
Detective, Could we just talk about for 2017 and 2018, funds that were transferred out of that TD checking account to the defendant's own personal bank accounts? Were you able to trace those funds as to where they went?
Yes,
And what was that? What were they used for?
to pay the defendant's personal living expenses.
Now, during the course of your investigation, was there any documentation from Canada Life that you reviewed regarding missing premium payments?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall specifically what that was?
Yes, I reviewed the quarterly billing statements and also the notices for the missed premium payment. The missed premium payment notices went out 60 days after the payment was due. So for example, if the quarterly premium payment was due January 28th, the notice would be dated March 27th. Also indicated in those notices was, what was indicated in the notices is that the automatic loan provision of the policy paid the missed premium payment.
Showing counsel what's been marked as S53. Detective, I'm showing you what's been marked as S53. If you could take a look at that. Judge, may I approach your court practice?
Thank you. Thank you, appreciate it.
Detective, do you recognize what's in that binder?
Yes, I do.
And specifically, what are those?
This is the Canada Life Assurance Company quarterly billing statements and the notices of missed quarterly payment.
Motion to publish.
Oh, I'm sorry, no objection. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, just to stay here for a second, Detective, I should clarify, are these notices for what years? Just tell us what years they're for.
This is 2017,
And the binder contains, so just to clarify, the binder is for the years 2017 and 2018?
correct?
You could go to the first page now. Do you see where it says due date?
Yes,
What is that?
January 28th, 2017,
And is there a premium amount? that's
Yes.
due? What is that?
$7,854.60.
And do you see to the left where it says Keith Caneiro, Irrevocable Trust?
Yes,
And then Paul Caneiro Trustee?
yes,
Is there an address under there?
yes, there
What
is.
is that?
27 Tilton Drive, Wayside, New Jersey, 07712.
If we can scroll up there. We can go up to the next, that's January, since it's 2 pages. Okay. We are looking at what date up here?
April 28th, 2017.
Okay, and just again, these are quarterly, so would this be the next date chronologically in terms of when the premium will be due?
Correct.
Okay. And again, we see an amount of what?
$7,854.60.
We can please scroll up. Stop there for a second. Okay. You can scroll a little bit. All right. Detective, what are we looking at here?
This is a notice of automatic premium loan issued by Canada Life,
And what is the date?
June 27th, 2017.
Okay. And do you see where it says notice of automatic premium loan?
Yes,
Okay. It says insured is who?
Keith M. Caneiro,
Okay. And what was the due date?
April 28th, 2017.
Okay. And we can scroll up a little bit. Can you scroll up to the same page? All right. And what does this indicate?
This indicates that the policy in force did not receive the premium payment, that the above premium was paid by charging a loan against the policy as provided by the automatic premium loan provision. The purpose of this provision is to keep your policy from lapsing when a premium is not paid within the grace period, and when there is sufficient net cash value in the policy to advance the premiums.
You can scroll up again, please, to the next date. All right. What is the next date here?
July 28th, 2017.
Okay. If we can scroll up. The next date, yes. The next date is what?
October 28th, 2017.
Okay. And was that essentially the four quarterly premium dates that we just went through?
Yes,
And of those four, there was one letter for a missed payment from April, is that right?
that is right.
If we can scroll up, please, down to 2018. Okay. Do you see where it says due date January 28th of 2018?
Yes,
Okay. And premium amount, is that right?
yes.
Okay, we can scroll down a little bit. Okay. And now, what are we looking at here, Detective?
This is a notice of automatic premium loan issued by Canada Life.
What's the date?
It is dated March 29th, 2018.
Okay. And is there a due date?
The due date is January 28th, 2018.
Okay, so essentially, is this letter indicating that there was a missed premium payment from January?
Yes,
Okay, we can scroll up to the next date, please. April 28th of 2018, do you see that?
yes,
Okay, we can scroll up. Any letters of missed premium payments for April?
no,
Okay, the next date, July 28th of 2018?
yes.
Okay, we can scroll up. Okay, Detective, what are we looking at here?
This is a notice of automatic premium loan issued by Canada Life,
What is the date?
September 26th, 2018.
And what is this indicating?
That the policy is in force, although Canada Life did not receive the premium payment. The above premium was paid for you by charging a loan against the policy as provided by the automatic premium loan provision.
Is there a due date?
The due date is July 28th, 2018.
I think that's good. If you could just scroll out just to show us, please. Okay, and the next one we come to is October 28th of 2018. Do you see that?
Yes,
Okay. Now, when you reviewed these documents, when there was a missed premium letter that went out, what was the time frame between the due date and the missed premium?
60 days,
Okay, so 60 days after this date would have been what?
December 27th,
Of
2018.
Okay. And did you receive anything in December 27th, 2018 regarding missed premiums?
I did not.
Thank you. Detective, during the course of your investigation, what, if any, documentation did you receive from Stephen Weinstein?
Through legal process, Steve Weinstein, the CPA, provided a myriad of financial documents to include bank statements and other financial documents. It was voluminous.
Did those bank statements include TD Trust Account bank statements 5465?
Yes, it did.
Do you recall the time frame of those bank statements that you received from Mr. Weinstein?
Yes,
What was that?
January 18 through September 18.
Did you review those statements?
I did.
Show counsel S12. Detective, I'm showing you what's marked as S12. Do you recognize those?
Yes, I do.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. This is S12. Just to clarify, these statements cover the dates January through September of 2018.
Yes, they do.
What, if anything, did you do with these statements when you received them from Mr. Weinstein?
Well, when I received them, this was early on in the investigation, and as I said, his box of documents was voluminous. He became in a bit of a backlog up front in the investigation because I literally have tens and tens of thousands of pages of financial documents. But I did get to the point where I could review them in December, and I reviewed the statements that he gave me, these statements.
Okay. And when you reviewed those statements, what, if any, other statements did you compare them to
The bank statements I received from TD Bank through legal process.
for that same time period?
Yes,
Okay, so 2018.
yes,
So just to be clear, you looked at the bank statements you received from Mr. Weinstein from January of 18 to September of 18?
yes,
And did you compare those from the bank statements you received through legal process from January of 18 through September of 18?
yes, I did.
Okay, and we're talking about the TD Trust Account 5465 statements.
Yes.
What, if anything, did you notice when you compared the two?
That for the months of May, June, July, and August and September, the payments on the statements that were provided to me by the CPA, Steve Weinstein, that he received from the defendant.
Objection.
What's the objection?
Just that the witness is testifying outside the scope of her knowledge. She received them from a person. She didn't say who she received them from. What happened prior to her involvement, I don't think she should be testifying about.
Overruled. Go ahead.
I learned in the investigation that these were provided to the CPA by the defendant, and the payments that I knew to go to the defendant's account from the TD Bank statements I received from legal process, the statements that the accountant provided me, those payments showed those payments going to Canada Life.
Okay. Do you have permission to publish as well?
No. Previously discussed, no objection.
Okay, go ahead.
Detective, what you're looking at on the screen, is that the same thing as S12 that you have in front of you in its entirety?
Yes,
Okay, we can go through this for a moment. You can scroll out. Now, you indicated that you noticed alterations starting in when?
May.
May, okay. We could go to May. Specifically, we're looking at May 1st here. Can you point to what you're referring to or circle it?
Yes, $5,000 is shown on this statement to have been a bill paid to Canada Life Assurance Company.
Okay. We can go.
We can print that as 12.1, please. Let me just confirm. I don't think we had a 12.1 from yesterday, right? We didn't have a 12.1 from yesterday, correct? All right, 12.1, go ahead.
Um, and if we can go up a little bit. We're looking at, I'm going to draw your attention to June 18th. What are you circling here?
$7,500 is shown to have been a TD bill paid check to Canada Life Assurance Company.
Okay, we can start a little bit.
That's 12.2.
Draw your attention to 7/16.
$4,500 is shown to have been a TD Bank bill pay to Canada Life Assurance Company.
Thank
12.3.
On August 3rd now.
$4,000 is shown to have been a TD Bank bill pay to Canada Life Assurance Company.
I'm gonna stay on the same page. Judge, I don't know if you want to print or since it's the same page.
We'll do both on the same page. Go ahead.
Okay, is there any others that you see on this page?
$2,500 is shown to have been a TD Bank bill pay on August 17th to Canada Life Assurance.
Detective, any others on this page?
$1,000 is shown to have been a TD Bank bill pay to Canada Life Assurance Company on August 28th.
Thank you.
12.4.
So on September, please. Detective, we're on September now, specifically starting with September 4th.
September 4th, TD Bank bill pay shown to have been sent to Canada Life Insurance. September, should I continue?
Yes, please, on this page.
September 4th, TD Bank bill pay in the amount of $300 shown to have gone to Canada Life Insurance Company. September 7th, $1,000 TD Bank bill pay shown to have gone to Canada Life Insurance Company. And $1,300 on September 17th, TD Bank bill pay shown to have gone to Canada Life Assurance Company.
Thank you.
12.5.
Oh, that's, yes, I'm sorry. Okay, and that's what you received through September, is that right?
Correct.
Detective, all of those transactions that you just underlined in circles reflecting transactions that went to Canada Life, where did they actually go?
To the defendant's bank accounts,
And how do you know that?
because I have the bank documents through legal process for TD Bank, and I was able to see exactly which accounts the money went to.
Now, Detective, in April of 2018, there actually was that one payment that did go to Canada Life, is that right?
Correct.
Was there anything different about that payment, specifically the way it was titled on the bank statements as to the ones that were altered?
It listed a check number. It actually had check and then the number.
During the course of your investigation and preparation, was anything prepared to depict the altered statements side by side with the statements you received through legal process?
Yes,
And what was that?
an exhibit.
I'm going to show you for special counsel what's been marked as S1I. I'm showing you what's been marked as S1I. Do you recognize this? I'll ask you to just flip through it.
Yes.
Okay, and what is this? Is this what you just referred to?
Yes.
Okay, let's just go. The first page depicts what?
First page depicts bank statements from TD Bank for the trust, bank account ending in 5465. The first sheet on the left, the statement date is April 1st, 2018 through April 30th, 2018. And the statement on the right is for the same account number, and the statement period is May 1st, 2018 through May 31st, 2018.
Okay, now just staying on this first page, each of these bank statements, so from April of 18 and May of 18, were these the statements that you received from Mr. Weinstein?
Yes.
Okay, and you indicated that they began, I think you said they started being altered in May of here?
Yes.
Okay, in April, there is actually what?
In April, there is one payment to Canada Life in the amount of $8,500. The payment was made on April 9th. It's a TD Bank bill paid check to Canada Life Assurance Company, and it lists check number 995002.
Did that payment actually go to Canada Life?
This payment for $8,500, yes.
Okay, and how about the payment listed for the slide next to it in May?
That would be the May 1st payment for $5,000. No.
It did not?
No.
Okay, and then just tell us, if you can, what the rest of the pages depict. You don't have to go page by page, but just generally speaking.
Generally speaking, on the left are the statements, is the statement that I received from the CPA. I know that because he put check marks on it. There were check marks when I received the statements. So on the left is the statement from the CPA, and on the right is my statement from TD Bank that I obtained through legal process.
Permission to publish, can I have a copy of the report?
No objection.
You can. I have it. Thank you.
Detective, if you could just explain, because now the jury can see what we're looking at. This is slide 2.
Okay. These are bank statements provided to me by the accountant, Steve Weinstein.
What is on the left?
On the left is the statement covering the period April 1st, 2018 through April 30th, 2018. It's from the trust account maintained at TD Bank, account number 5465.
Do you see where it says 49?
49 April 9th, yes,
You see that? Okay, and there's a payment of $8,500.
yes,
And did that actually go to Canada Life?
yes,
And how do you know that?
because I have the documentation from Canada Life verifying that they received that payment.
Is there a check number underneath that one?
There is,
Now, to the right, we're looking at the May statements that Mr. Weinstein provided to you.
yes,
Okay, and is there a payment that reflects it's being sent to Canada Life?
yes, on May 1st for $5,000
Okay, and where did that actually go?
to the defendant Paul Caneiro's account at TD Bank, account number 3837.
Is there a check number underneath that one?
There is not.
Okay, we can go to slide 3. All right, Detective, can you just explain to us what we're looking at here side by side?
On the left is the statement from TD Bank provided to me by the CPA. The statement period is May 1st, 2018 through May 31st, 2018. This is the trust account maintained at TD Bank account 5465. Right, it's the same bank, it's the same account number, and it's the same account, the trust account. The statement on the right, I obtained through legal process from TD Bank.
The statement on the right, it has that same amount, $5,000?
Yes.
So where does that go into?
It's being transferred to checking ending in 3837, which is account 2 on the chart.
If we can go to slide 4, please. Same thing, Detective, if you can just explain the side by side to us.
The statement on the left was provided to me by the CPA. The statement on the right was obtained through legal process from TD Bank. It's the trust account maintained at TD Bank, account ending in 5465, covering the statement period June 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2018.
The statement on the left, on June 18th, is there a transaction?
$7,500,
And it's reflected as going to where?
Canada Life Assurance Company,
The statement on the right that you received through legal process, same date,
same date.
what's reflected?
It's transferred to checking account ending in 3837, which is account 2, in the name of the defendant, Paul Caneiro.
Could we go to slide 5, please? Take us through this again the same way.
Statement on the left was provided to me by the CPA, Steve Weinstein. Statement on the right was obtained through legal process from TD Bank. The statements are from TD Bank in the name of, it's the trust account ending in 5465.
What does the statement on the left reflect?
It reflects a $4,500 TD Bank bill pay to Canada Life Assurance on July 16th,
And the statement on the right that you obtained through legal process reflects what?
an electronic transfer to checking account ending in 3837, which is account 2, in the name of the defendant.
Could we go to slide 6, please? Detective, can you take us through this transaction?
Yes, the statement on the left was provided to me by the CPA. The statement on the right, I obtained through legal process from TD Bank. These are TD Bank statements for the trust account ending in 5465. And there are 3 transactions on these statements. August 3rd, $4,000. August 17th, $2,500. August 28th, $1,000. On the statements from the accountant, these transactions were TD bill pays to Canada Life Assurance Company. On the statements I received from TD Bank, those same dates, those same amounts were transferred to TD checking account ending in 3837, which is the defendant's account number 2 on the chart.
Slide 7, slide 7. Same thing, Detective, if you could take us through what we're looking at on the left and right.
Again, the statement on the left was provided to me by the CPA. Statement on the right, I obtained through legal process from TD Bank. These are TD Bank statements for the trust account ending in 5465. There are transactions dating September 4th for $1,000, September 7th for $1,000, September 17th in the amount of $1,300, and also September 4th for $300. These 4 transactions indicate they went to Canada Life Assurance Company from the statements I received from the accountant. The statements that I received from TD Bank show that those transfers went to September 4th, $1,000 went to account 2 ending in 3837. Also on September 4th, $300 to account 3837. And also to account 3837 is September 17th in the amount of $1,300. And lastly, on September 7th, there was a transfer in the amount of $1,000 to the joint account that the defendant held with his wife ending in 3760.
Thank you, Detective. You can take this down. I'll take it back. Detective, for purposes of, you spoke about the defendant's sources of revenue for the years 2017 and 2018. Just to kind of give us a complete picture, do you know whether Susan Caneiro, the defendant's wife, worked for this employer?
No,
No, you don't know, or no, she wasn't?
no, I don't know.
During the course of your investigation, Detective, did you learn whether or not Keith Caneiro had security cameras inside his home at 15 Millbrook Road?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And specifically, were you made aware of those by the investigative team?
Yes, I was.
Do you know where specifically those cameras were located inside of the home?
Yes, there were 2 cameras. One was in the kitchen and one was in the office. And they were Wise cameras.
Do you know whether those Wise cameras contained any stored recordings?
Yes, they contained stored audio and video recordings.
Were there any recordings that you specifically reviewed in the course of your investigation?
Yes, there were.
Okay. And do you recall specifically what you reviewed from what dates?
Yes, there were 2 recordings. They were dated November 19th, 2018. One recording was approximately 3:50 p.m., and that was a recording that was in the kitchen. And the second recording was approximately 6:05 p.m., and that recording was involving the office area.
Generally speaking, when you reviewed those recordings, what was the nature of those recordings?
The nature of the recordings involved finding out where the money went. Apparently, Keith Caneiro was missing money going to Canada Life.
Okay, so just to clarify, who are the recordings of specifically?
The defendant and his brother Keith Caneiro.
Okay, and who can you actually hear and see in those recordings?
Yes, you can.
No, who can you actually hear and see? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You can hear the defendant Paul Caneiro, or excuse me, you can hear Keith Caneiro on the recordings.
Okay, I'm going to show you. Showing S66. I'm going to show you what's been marked as S66. What is that?
This is a CD of the Wise Camera interior, kitchen, and office recordings.
And how, is that how you listened to those recordings and watched them?
Yes,
Okay, and are your initials on there?
yes, right there on the top left.
All right, we're gonna stop here. We're gonna take our lunch break right now, so you guys will go in, get whatever you need, and then Amor will take you downstairs. I'd like to bring you back up at 1:30, please. Please do not discuss this case or do any research right now. Just go and enjoy your lunch. We'll have you back up at 1:30 and we'll continue on with the direct examination. Thank you so much.
Paul.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Caneiro. All right, we're gonna continue with the direct examination. Prosecutor, when you're ready.
Thank you, Judge. Detective, prior to the break, I had showed you S66. Do you
Yes.
pull that, and did you indicate that your initials were on here?
Yes.
Okay, Judge, the state would seek permission to publish. And just for the record.
Counsel, any issue?
No, Judge.
Okay, go ahead.
Just for the record, it would be broken up into two parts. It's S66A and then B. So it's like A first and then B.
All right, S66A. I feel like we have an echo, or it's in my head, one or the other. Let's not play that yet until we get rid of the echo. Testing, texting. Good. You want me to sing?
Not yet.
That's hurtful. You know, how do you know? I could be great. Yeah, listen. All right. Prosecutor, when you're ready.
Sorry, Judge, there's apparently a technical issue. There we go.
Yep. This is 66A.
The volume's B, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's their volume or our volume.
Can we turn our volume up a little bit?
I'm at 100.
Yeah, we'll turn ours up. Ours is maxed. See what happens.
Hey, William. Canada Life is telling me they haven't been receiving money except in April. That doesn't make any sense. Canada Life is saying they haven't received money since April. I know it's not true. I need you to send me the statement they sent. If I'm on phone from Old Bay already. I need to access the money. Fine. Do you have it stand for it? Do you have a standard account? Can I log into it and grab it? Do you have the online access? I'll just go online and see it. You don't have the online access? If you could just see if they can send me a password, and I'll do the research myself. Thanks.
Judge's next one would be S66B.
Hey, I'm sorry to call the house line. I'm looking for Paul. I know he's sleeping, but I need to talk to him. Yeah, that's fine. Thanks. Yeah, please. I'm calling on mobile. Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
Detective, is there a timestamp on here?
I can see the duration of the call, and I can see that it says November 19th, 2018 at 18:05:27.
And the previous one, do you recall that one?
That was dated the same date, and it showed 3:50, the military time for that time frame.
Hey, I just spent the last hour and a half on the phone with the insurance company. They're saying they haven't received any money, and that they took a loan against my account, and they're taking another one in October, which is just in October. I need to know. Show me where you're sending the checks in online. You're writing it online. I need to know where they're going. I need you to wake up, Paul, and do it. And short of you being dead, I need to see the stuff. You need to log into your account then. You log into the TV account. You need to log into the TV account. Your TV account. You don't know your TV login. Go find it and give it to me. I need to see it now, Paul. I need to see it. I need to see it now. I need it. I understand, Paul. I understand that. I just been here today. Paul, I'm telling you. I need it. I need it. I need it. Give me the fucking login, Paul. Give me the login, Paul. Paul, just give me the login so I can see where the money went. They get on your computer and tell me where the money went. Paul, somebody else could read it to you there. I need to know where that money went. Look a little while, Paul. I understand you're saying you need to wake the fuck up, Paul. Paul, I'm telling you. I just don't have to be looking for this. I need to know where it went. Paul. Paul. Are you sure it went to the right place this time? You have cash checks? You have cash checks? Paul. I see what you're saying. Paul, I'm worried. I need to know where it went. All right, an hour or two. An hour or two. An hour or two, Paul. Let me say 8 o'clock.
Cross-examination.
Okay, so Detective, we just heard those calls. They took place on November 19th, 2018, right?
Yes,
And you listened to those particular calls before you came here to testify today?
I did.
Those are the only calls from that series of voice recordings that you listened to?
Yes.
You didn't listen to the calls that were made before those that we just heard, right?
No.
You didn't listen to the calls that were made after the ones we just heard, right?
Correct.
You don't know if there's anything in this case of evidentiary significance that happened before those calls? Of 2018.
Not to infer anything else that may have gone on that you don't, that may have gone on, that may have gone other calls in this case at this point in time. The court may have made rulings at some point in time that maybe has an impact on this. So you're hearing what you're going to be allowed to hear, at least right now. So I don't want you to have any thoughts about that one way or another. There should be no impact on either the state and or the defense on this, but we are not to infer anything else that may have gone on that you're not being told, and why aren't you being told? Does that make sense? All right, can everyone follow that instruction?
Yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Now, you testified today about a number of financial transactions between a trust account that you referenced and Paul Caneiro's personal account or accounts, right?
Yes,
You're aware that in April of 2018, there was an issue that Keith became aware of about money from the trust not getting to the life insurance.
yes,
And when Keith found out about that in April of 2018, he was upset about the fact that that was happening, right?
okay.
You took us,
You say, okay, are you agreeing with what he's saying, or are you not agreeing with what he's saying? I'm not sure what that was.
I was listening to what he was saying.
Okay, we need to be careful, just if you don't mind with the questions, because I don't want the jurors to be left with an impression as to an answer, which wasn't really an answer to what you just said. So go ahead.
thank you, I'm going to clarify it.
Please do.
You said before today that you spoke with a witness in this case, and his name is Steve Weinstein, right?
Yes,
And you took a formal statement from Steve Weinstein, right?
I was a part of that interview.
Yeah, you were there when it happened,
Yes,
right? And you were able to hear what he said, right?
yes,
And you were able to review that, if you chose to, at a later date, after it was reduced to writing, right?
yes,
Okay. Now, during the course of that statement, Steve Weinstein is asked about that incident in April of 2018 with the life insurance money, right?
yes,
And he explains what took place in that time period, right?
yes,
And he explains that Keith found out that the money wasn't getting to the life insurance policy, right?
yes.
And he explains that when he found that out, Keith was overly upset with everyone.
I didn't memorialize that statement. That was not my lead on that statement. But if you want me to testify as to exactly what occurred in that meeting, if you have a statement or a summary of that, I can look at it.
Judge, I'm going to approach. This is S9.
Okay.
Detective, just so you can see the front of this.
Sure.
This is marked S9, okay?
Yes.
You recognize this to be the statement of Steve Weinstein?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'll just show you on the last page of this document. We're going to see a date and time, which is January 24th, 2019, right?
Correct.
5:23 p.m.
Correct.
Signed by Steve Weinstein.
Yes.
Signed by yourself.
On the third signature, yes.
Sure, but you signed it, right?
Yes, I
Signed
did.
by Detective Petrozello.
Yes.
Signed by Detective Zarello.
Correct.
Okay. Drawing your attention to page 6, I'm just going to ask you to review that page, lines 4 through 8.
Yes,
Okay. You had a chance to look at that, right?
I did.
And then, so what I was talking to you about before was this situation in April where Keith finds out the money's not getting to the insurance company, okay? And in that statement, am I correct that Steve Weinstein is going to tell you when Keith found out about that incident, he was overly upset with everyone?
Yes,
Those were his words, right?
yes,
He didn't say upset with Paul. He said overly upset with everyone.
yes.
Okay. I'll take that back.
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, you we also know that, let me see if I can confine this way. You testified earlier that you watched the three Wise camera videos that we saw today, right?
The two videos.
If there were conversations about the issue that happened in April of 2018, right? We wouldn't know that were recorded. We wouldn't know because we haven't seen those, right?
Right.
Okay. So we didn't have a chance, other than the statement of Mr. Weinstein, to see Keith's demeanor back in April of 2018 when he found out about the issue of money not getting to the insurance policy.
Correct.
Now, we also know that you're here talking about finances in this case, not because it's somehow, independent to the charges, but it both supports charges in this case, right?
Yes,
And it also goes to the essence of the state's theory of motive, right? And so this financial evidence goes to the heart of the state's theory about why Paul would kill Keith, right?
correct.
Hey, Lynn, if you can hear me, I just increased the volume. I want to see if that's better for you, or do you want me to slow it down? They don't have any CC, no closed captioning. You know, I aim to please, so I want to know. You let me know if any of that helps. All right, here we go, guys.
This call, in the two clips that you mentioned that we just saw, matters because in it we can see Keith trying to figure out if the money is getting to the insurance company in November, and he's trying to figure that out from Paul, right?
Can I just clarify what he's trying to figure it out in November for what happened in months past? Is that what you're asking? Yes.
In November, right. In November, we just watched these calls. They take place on November 19th, and it's about whether the money has been getting to the insurance company, right?
Yes.
And those calls are meaningful to the state's presentation of motive evidence in this case, right?
Yes.
And they're relevant because not just for the content, not just for the detail about the finances, they're relevant because of Keith's apparent emotional state while those calls are taking place, right?
Yes.
But you did not know Keith Caneiro personally, right?
No.
And you did not know and do not know what his general demeanor and emotional character were, right?
No, I did not.
And all we have in terms of your review is what we can see in terms of what's on that video, right?
Yes.
But we know that Steve Weinstein said about the April event that Keith was overly upset, right?
Yes.
We also know that in between April and November, Keith and Paul continued to speak to one another, right?
I wouldn't know that.
They continued to be in business together.
Correct.
There was a plan, a proposal to perhaps sell one of their businesses. You're aware of that,
Yes.
right? And that took place in the latter part of 2018.
Yes.
It took place after this event in April with the trust issue.
It may have.
Okay. If I told you it did, would you accept that?
I would hear that you're saying that.
Okay. Well, I don't need to do it, but let's just say they were working on that sale. Okay. Did you know that? And so that's your impression that they were working on that together, right?
Is it an impression? I just know that EcoStar was hopefully going to sell.
Then we get to November, and what we're still dealing with is this issue of whether money's getting to the insurance, and the issue is it coming from the trust to the insurance policy, right?
Yes.
You documented for us today what that amounted to in terms of transfers from the trust to places other than the insurance policy, right?
Yes.
And that was about $33,000 in 2017, right?
Yes.
And about $44,000 in 2018, right?
44,500.
And in total, we're talking about, in terms of your number estimates, about $78,000.
Yes.
Paul's on the other end of that call on November 19th of 2018. That's your understanding, right?
That is my understanding.
Paul can hear what Keith's saying.
That is my understanding.
We don't know what Paul is saying back to Keith.
Correct.
We don't know if Paul's apologizing or if he's telling his brother to calm down, right?
Correct.
Paul knew his brother way better than you were ever acquainted with him, right?
Yes.
And I guess the issue is this. I think we touched on it earlier today. It's important for a detective in a case to look not just to the things that strengthen arguments for motive, but to look to the things also that may weaken support for motive.
Agreed. Prove or disprove.
A reasonable question might be, are there things in the financial records which demonstrate Keith's general emotional demeanor?
Can you explain further what you mean?
Sure. If Keith upset on these calls on November 19th, if Keith upset on these calls is an aberration for him, a way that he doesn't usually present, a way that his brother, who knows him very well, would find disconcerting and unusual and shocking and uncomfortable. That is a very different thing than if Paul knows this is just how Keith acts. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
So if there was evidence that could tell us whether on one side Keith's demeanor that night was an aberration, or on the other side that it was maybe a more general emotional reaction that others who knew him would see him to have, in either event, that would be important for us to know.
Are you asking me, would it be important for me as a financial detective to know?
I'm asking you as a detective who participated in this investigation with other detectives, because let's remind everyone, you weren't isolated completely to finance. You spoke with other detectives in this case, right?
I have spoken with other detectives, mainly the detectives that I was with when I participated in the interview of the CPA, Steve Weinstein, when I participated in the interview of Ron Artigas, when I participated in the interview of Tiffany Rivera, also a financial interview, and in speaking to Yasel Restrepo. So I have not been a part of any other interviews. I follow the money. I am a detective in the financial crimes unit.
Yeah, but you're a part of this case, aren't you? You're a detective in this case.
Technically,
Okay, let's stay with technically. That's fine. But technically, you're a detective in this case, right?
investigating the financial aspect.
And technically, you know what the state's motive theory in this case is. You already told us that, right?
Yes.
And technically, you know that the state is looking for evidence that's supportive of their motive theory, right?
Yes.
And technically, you know that whether you find things that are supportive of or weaken the strength for that motive, it's important for you to note that to others involved in the case, right?
Financially speaking, yes.
If you see things, so this is the point then. If you see things in the financial records that go to a determination of whether Keith's character on those calls was an aberration or part of his general character, it's important because it either strengthens that motive or lends to the idea that there may be less support for that motive, right?
Right.
Okay. So if there was in the financial records an indication that Keith was a very high-strung guy, that would be important for you to know.
I'm not sure I follow you, but if you can give me an example of how the financial aspect of the investigation would connect with that, I would understand you better.
I thought I just did that for like 10 minutes. Did I not do that? Okay. The motive evidence you're aware of, right?
Yes.
We talked about the fact that that Paul knows his brother very well and you don't know his brother at all, right?
Correct.
We talked about the fact that it's important as to whether this is unusual behavior for Keith in terms of his emotional character on those calls or whether it's usual behavior, right?
Yes.
You've agreed with everything I said so far, right? And then you agreed that if there was evidence one way or the other to support either of those contentions, it would be important to note for others in the case. And you agreed with that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're at the point where I ask you if there was evidence in the financial records that indicated Keith was a high-strung guy who could flip out at the drop of a dime.
Can I see the attorneys, please? I'm still not sure. And then I'll give the state the chance to respond.
Judge, do we have a way, we have the record electronically. Could we bring it on the screen? And
I don't want it going out to the world right now.
Well, is there a way we
I
can-
mean, I don't know what it says.
yeah, I can,
That's a part of the problem. You don't have it printed?
we have it. We didn't anticipate today that this witness would be entering these WISE videos because we'd been told by the state that a different witness would be entering these videos. And I didn't even anticipate, Judge, going into this line of questioning with this witness until it was told to me during the break that this was the witness who was going to be doing this. So
We understood that this morning, which was before the break, but nothing was printed out during the break with the understanding that you were going to go down this path. I would assume because you seem to be referencing something that leads me to believe that you were going to go down this path after lunch.
I was going to have to, Judge, because we don't have a printer here, I was going to have to show it to the witness on a screen.
Are these documents anywhere else? We have them somewhere?
Judge, I mean, if they could be identified, we probably have the financial records in the building. I mean, we have the financial records in the building.
I'm talking about that we don't have them here in this room.
We have it in a conference room down the hall. If we were told exactly what they're looking for, yes, we could get it quickly.
Didn't Mr. Gonzalez say we can turn off these screens and only have these ones on? He said as the witness's screen would still be on with ours, but the big ones could be turned off.
Can you do that, Anna? Hold Dave up, please. Dave, can we look at a document just on our screens on council table and at the witness box and in my monitor without showing it on screens? Are you plugged in?
I just plugged it in.
Thank you. The witness is going to need to see it though.
Judge, you can pop over and look at our screen or the state screen or, I mean,
Let me see the document first. Right, you can bring it up.
I have it on my screen.
So it's not on my screen either?
it's not on our
It's not
screen.
on-
You guys have to do it fine.
We're ready at
It's
this
ready to
table.
be shared.
I can see it.
Or by TD. Here we have a record that was in Fate's discovery, right?
Yes,
And we see that it's an email communication,
yes,
and this is from the TD Bank emails that were turned over by TD to you, right?
yes,
And it's in reference to, you would place it in the report, but it's in reference, not this specific document, but the emails themselves are in reference to Keith Canau's attempt to get a mortgage refinance, right?
right,
And this is within those, and by the way, I think it was several thousands of documents that were there, right?
yes,
And this is one of them, right?
yes,
But what this email does talk about is Keith being a high-strung guy, right?
I think when anyone owes the IRS money, my experience, having come from IRS, they're all high-strung when they owe IRS debt,
But this was about refi,
because he had to pay, he also wanted to use the funds for an IRS debt.
right? So the email says he's a high-strung guy, right?
Yes,
The email says that he'll flip out at the drop of a dime,
it did.
and that is clearly something that could be informative to us about whether Keith was on the November 19th videos that we watched, a high-strung guy, right?
Right.
And clearly could be informative in that same instance about whether he could flip out at the drop of a dime, right?
Correct.
And we also mentioned before that whether something supports or weakens the strength for motive, it's important to make note of it in an investigation, right?
Yes,
And so either way, this gives us some insight potentially into Keith's emotional character in general, right?
it could,
So in either case, it could be important to note, right?
it could be.
So it would be something that could be important to note, not for you financially, but for the case detectives who are investigating the homicide in this case, right?
Could be.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Wallace,
Judge, the state's position.
you have any questions first?
Detective, have you ever seen this before?
I'm certain I probably have, but again, there were tens and tens and tens of thousands of documents in this case. If I reviewed a document a one-off time 8 years ago, I couldn't physically possibly go back and review 50,000 pages to prepare for today.
Do you have any independent recollection of reviewing this?
Specifically, no, but if I received it back then, I probably had hands and eyes on it at one point.
That's it? No other questions? Okay. Prosecutor, what's your position as to this line of questioning?
Judge, the state's position is that this is not relevant. The state fails to see how a one-time email from an individual who we don't even know who this individual is on September 14th of 2016 can characterize the victim's general demeanor. The detective has testified she doesn't even recall seeing this. However, should the court allow this line of questioning, the state submits that it would open the door to each and every reaction that Keith Caneiro had to somebody else and things he said to somebody else when he was upset that upon learning that his brother was stealing from him.
I'll hear from you. Here's my problem. I got plenty of them when it comes to this, but let's talk about it for a minute. You want to use an email from 2016 from two different people in this case, neither of which are a part of this case, and you're offering it for the truth of the matter asserted that he is a high-strung guy, Keith Caneiro. That's what you're offering it for, because you're specifically saying that would be important to the investigation one way or another when you evaluate all the evidence as it relates to motive. So what you're offering it for, you don't have the ability to do that unless you're calling this witness, and they're not on the witness list. Are you planning on calling them and you just didn't put them on the witness list? Because how else are you going to get this information in?
We had no intention of calling them, Judge. We had the intention at this point in time of just asking Detective Bassender about it for the purpose of lack of investigation into the case.
So here's the second part of the problem, though. You just crossed this witness about, you don't know Keith Caneiro. You don't know if the reaction that he had in this is something he does all the time or if it's an aberration. How do I know, or how does anyone know, that Susan Baldwin, how she knows him? What's her foundation of knowledge to know whether he's high-strung or not? We have nothing in this case. And you're putting the court in a position, and ultimately yourselves in a position, that in doing this, by asking these questions, I need you to understand, to this court, first of all, I don't see how, evidentially, how you're getting this in. But even if I was to allow it in, I would allow the state to respond, and which includes bringing back the witness from yesterday, Keith's best friend or close friend, who testified and wanted to say more about the emotions of what went on at the 6/18 dinner, the Saturday before this all happened, that I would allow this to come out. So you got two options. And if you want, I'll give you 5 minutes or 10 minutes to talk it over with co-counsel before we do it. Number one, I still don't know how legally it fits under the evidence rules to even go this way. And number two, if I decided to agree with you, do you understand, and is it your position and a strategic decision that you want to do this, understanding that I'm going to say that it opens the door to Keith's emotional state normally, and then maybe how he felt as a result of learning some of this information about what was going on with his accounts and the money that he thought was going in a certain direction. So I'm going to give you a break. Think about this, and then we'll come back. We will start back at 25 to 3, and then we'll see where we're going at that point. All right?
Can I ask a question for clarification, Judge? Your Honor's indicate, based on what Your Honor just stated, and I appreciate the opportunity to confer, so in order to do so, my question is Your Honor saying we're opening the door to general demeanor or to content? Because the Wise video is both content and demeanor. It's a very prejudicial piece of evidence in this case, though relevant. And the reason it's relevant is because they're claiming like this was the motive. He was very upset with Paul. So it's one thing to say we're opening the door to his general demeanor.
I don't think that's the
Another
motive.
thing is to open the
I don't
door
think
to
that's the motive. The motive is not what Keith's emotional state was. It's the fact that Keith has confronted Paul and what that meant to Paul and how he reacted as to the fact that he now knows that Keith is breathing down his neck and his whole house of cards is about to fall. I think that's the motive that we're talking about. I could be wrong, not my case to try, but I'm pretty sure that that's what we're talking about.
The $78,000, Judge, yes. And the state's theory is that when Paul hears Keith upset about this whole thing, that's what sparks the alleged motive. But what I'm asking, I guess, is the court saying we're opening the door to other witnesses coming in here and saying, generally, he's a very calm guy, or generally, yeah, he's a little hot.
Yes.
Or are we opening the door, as the state is suggesting, to specific instances where Keith is saying things about Paul? Because that has nothing to do with general demeanor. That's content.
That would have to fit under another evidential rule, or that to allow some exception to allow that information in. I'm talking about demeanor.
Just demeanor. Okay, thank you.
All right, prosecutors, just to be clear, that's what you were talking about in opening the door.
No, Judge, to be honest, to be clear, I would say it's both.
Then show me how it would get in under an evidence rule.
Well, under state of mind, which we litigated previously, Keith's state of mind, not to mention 106 completeness.
Well, the completeness as it relates to the demeanor, I understand where you're coming from. But if you're going to, I would need to know what other areas that you'd be wanting to bring out. Again, I'm blind as to what the evidence is right now. So you want to tell me what that is? As what you
want to pick up on it previously when you were talking about Mr. Paolucci who testified yesterday. I mean, we live in a world of we can't bring in stuff that we know isn't admissible. You know, i.e., hey Ben, what exactly did Keith say? Well, Keith's pissed off that he stole $80,000. We didn't elicit that. But But now, by going into like, Keith would flip out, it wasn't that big of a deal, he just always overreacted. It's like Keith's running around town for a period of months, telling Jennifer's sister, Jennifer's mother, Mr. Paolucci, that Keith's stealing from him, and he wants to get out of business with him. He wants to go get a job. One of the reasons why he went back to school, he's applying for jobs. He's got a Zoom call the morning, he missed it because he was killed, with Abu Dhabi for a job interview. I mean, this is all relating to this idea that like this, this was just Keith. He just flipped out. He wasn't that man. Like, it also kind of borderline, I think, intimates like that they know how Keith reacted, or the defendant knows how Keith would react without testimony to that regard. I understand. I completely agree with part one of the court's analysis. But I do think it opens up other doors to specific comments that Keith made about the thefts from him.
I'd have to do. I gotta be honest. I have to do research on that issue to know for sure if it opens the door as to that other part. I don't know the answer to that, Ms. Massalone. I thought it was only for the first part that they were trying to bring it in for. If they're trying to bring it in for both, then I'm gonna have to do a little bit more to make sure that I'm clear before I say anything.
Sure, and I know, Judge, with respect to like state of mind, Kalia evidence,
Of course, and we're talking about State versus Scalia. Go ahead.
State versus Kalia.
Right.
With respect to statements made by a victim that don't invoke fear, like it's not like Keith saying I'm scared of Paul. Those issues have like a heightened standard.
I agree.
State versus Scalia. This situation is not there. We're just talking about the idea that Keith is upset because his money is unaccounted for and he's trying to figure it out. And I completely agree with the court's kind of recitation of the state's motive. I mean, obviously we can address when we get there. Quite frankly, I think we've said a couple times today, maybe yesterday too, that we felt that certain doors were open, and yet, as the court noted, we haven't kind of ran through them. There's only so much, there's only so much like restraint that can be showed in order to react to things that are being brought out. So obviously, as the court said, we'll deal with specific instances as we get there. And if we do plan to elicit something that we feel like I'm arguing right now is relevant, I will certainly, Ms. Wallace will certainly allow the court to be made aware prior to doing it.
Can I respond to that?
Of course you can. Go ahead.
So a couple things. One of the things the prosecutor said was about, this all goes to Keith going back to school, wanting to get away from his brother, wanting to divorce himself from the businesses. Their first witness testified that 3 days before this happened, Keith is negotiating with Doris Duke, Uli from Doris Duke, extending 3 business proposals, one of which says we will promise you to remain in business for 4 years and potentially an additional 2. So there's like, that's not the full story, and it's a very one-sided narrative that the state is trying to, I think, portray, and it's not consistent with their own evidence. But beyond that, Judge, anything that Keith said, let's say to Ben, right, the few nights Saturday night before this happened, that's to Keith. There's no link that Paul would have any knowledge of that. And in order to, I think, get into the realm of the Kalia, and without having the case in front of me at this moment, there's no like nexus, and that's where the content, I think, would not come into play, because and frankly, Judge, it kind of proves our point, because if they're saying that Keith is running around pissed about this, pissed about this, pissed about this, and then this email says, yeah, and he's pissed about this too, then that's just, again, that's demeanor. It's that he's upset.
It's also years before. It's not even like this is, for example, it's not like this email is from November 15th dealing with what's going on at that particular time. So yeah, he's fired up over the issue that we're talking about. We're talking about a completely different issue, as Mr. Murray brought out. It's a refi issue. It's not based upon anything else. And who knows, maybe he was upset about the refi issue, but maybe that's not how he normally is. He's just upset about this particular issue. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're trying to make things about to mean other things in other parts of the case. And I do not see it. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm only going to address the issue as of right now as to how it relates to demeanor, conduct, not in the specific acts. That would be what I would decide. So you decide what you want to do, understanding I want to hear your legal justification to even getting this in the first place. So far, I haven't heard it. But if you got something for me, I'm more than willing to listen to it. But I wanted to be clear, the second part of the analysis, because you can win the battle and lose the war. You may win, and then you're opening the door to other things. That I'm telling you for sure. I'm going to allow them to respond to the demeanor issues. I can't say anything else because I don't know, because I don't have the research in front of me. All right, take a 10-minute break. We just went into that, so we'll come back at 2:45. Does anybody have an issue with me just telling the jurors what's going on? I'm going to walk in there just so that they know. I'm going to give them their 15-minute break right now.
Okay.
All right, anybody?
Okay.
All right, thank you. You take a break.
I do not. I did want to place a few things on the record. First, we anticipated that we were pursuing that line of questioning to demonstrate something akin to effect on the listener, and to lend that towards arguments about lack of investigation in the case. We were not looking at that as a specific instance of conduct on the part of Keith Caneiro. That being said, given that at this point in time, we really have no idea what the universe of things are that this inquiry opens the door to, I do not think we can continue it without knowledge of what that could be. So I am going to move on. I will tell the court that, because Ms. Wallace brought this up yesterday, about years outside of 2017 and 2018, we do intend to get into information about prior years in terms of at least the trust account. Now, the state, I'm sure, is going to have to respond in whatever way they think is appropriate with stuff outside of what they introduced today, but we do intend to do that. So I just wanted to make the court aware of that.
Do we think that it would have been important or helpful that in all of our pretrial motions that we filed in this case, that we should have put the court on notice so the court could have decided some of these, whatever you want to bring in prior to 2017? I mean, isn't that what we were doing for almost 9 months all the time?
The detective's report and reports in this case are not just about the trust account from 2017 and 2018. They're about the trust account from 2014 through 2018.
But the issue in this case and what we're focused on, isn't it surrounding, and isn't the indictment surrounding 2017 and 2018? It's not about 2014, 2015, or 2016, right?
Yes, but we have information from that account in the discovery, and we have reports about that account in the discovery. This witness wrote those reports.
Would you agree with me that detectives write things in their reports that doesn't mean that they may be relevant at the time of trial, but they just may be a part of their overall investigation?
I don't know if I would, Judge. I think that anything a detective writes in a report is potentially relevant at a trial.
Okay, but who decides whether it's relevant?
Well, I mean, obviously the court would decide that fact.
Well, shouldn't I know this in advance so that we could have addressed this issue one way or another?
Judge, the state, I don't think, has made any protest to the court about this information being irrelevant. The only thing they said about it is it may create a situation where they want to reference things outside of this year 17 and 18 period.
Okay.
They haven't said it's irrelevant.
All right, we'll see how it goes. Can we have our witness brought back in, please? Prosecutors, you're on notice. If there's things that I need to know about, I expect to be put on notice if you have colloquy with your counsel. The jurors brought back out, please. The cross-examination of this witness. Mr. Murray, go ahead.
Thank you. Detective, I guess let's take a step back here. You are the one who sent out subpoenas for the large majority of financial records that were received in this case, right?
Correct.
You sent subpoenas to TD Bank, right?
Yes.
You sent subpoenas to insurance companies like Sun Life and Unum, right?
Yes.
You sent subpoenas to retail establishments like Tiffany Jewelers and Restoration Hardware.
Yes.
You sent subpoenas to governmental agencies like various New Jersey governmental agencies in terms of disability and unemployment.
Yes.
You not only sent these records, but you were the one who decided to whom you were going to send record requests, right?
Do you mean when I prepare the subpoena, am I the one deciding who goes on the attention line?
More that when you're putting together a subpoena and you're saying to yourself, am I going to send a subpoena to Bank of America? You're the one who makes the decision about whether you send a subpoena to Bank of America.
Primarily.
Nobody directed you to do that. You thought it was in the interest of the investigation to do that.
You can be directed to do that, but I can also make that determination.
And you made a large number of the determinations in this case about who to subpoena, correct?
I didn't issue every subpoena on the financial side, but a lot of them, yes.
Right. Now, you didn't make these decisions randomly. Everybody you subpoenaed, you had a purpose for subpoenaing, right?
Yes.
And when we say subpoena, we don't necessarily mean that you were telling them they had to appear in court. What you were really, in effect, doing with those subpoenas is telling them they had to produce documents and give you those documents, right?
Yes.
And the documents, you when you would send out these subpoenas, you would send them and tell these organizations that you wanted certain records from certain times, right?
That's written in the body of the subpoena. You have to put a time period or else they won't comply.
And sometimes you were looking for any and all records in the name of a certain person, like Paul Caneiro, right?
Sometimes.
And sometimes you were looking for specific records from a specific company. But in either event, you would put that in the subpoena, right?
Yes.
You then wrote prior to the supplemental report that you had referenced today, you wrote about 60 investigative reports in this case.
I don't have the exact figure, but I wrote a lot of supplemental reports.
And you wrote those reports in and around the end of 2018 through 2019, right?
I'd have to look at every single one of them to confirm.
Well, let's work backwards. I think you wrote your most recent report in December of this year, right?
Right.
And then before that, you wrote a report in July of this year.
Those two were regarding why we're here today, with my testimony for the motive.
But you didn't write. And then before those two reports that I just mentioned, it had been some time since you'd written a report in this case. It had been years.
Probably I'd have to go back to confirm the exact date.
When you were sending out these subpoenas to these organizations, you were also selecting the people about whom you were looking for information.
Yes, or entities.
You had an attachment to many of your subpoenas, and you referred to it in your reports as attachment A. You know what I'm talking about? And attachment A is a list of names, right?
Yes,
And the names on it are Paul Caneiro,
yes,
Susan Caneiro,
yes,
Keith Caneiro,
yes,
Jennifer Caneiro.
yes,
There's an attachment A with including Caitlin Caneiro's name as well, right?
yes,
Marissa Caneiro.
yes,
You got records for all of those Caneiros,
yes,
but it was you who chose who and who not to list on that exhibit A, right?
and following the money, that is what would give me the financial lead to subpoena records for an individual or an entity. So if I didn't subpoena an individual or an entity, it's probably because there was no investigative lead to follow the money for. The individuals I subpoenaed had received money in one way or another.
I took that from your testimony before, because you said you had started with a trust account, right?
Yes,
But obviously, this investigation that you conducted in terms of records requests broadened beyond merely obtaining bank statements, right?
in terms of,
You obtained records from credit card companies, right?
yes,
You obtained numerous records from American Express.
yes, following the money,
You obtained records from Discovery.
yes,
You obtained numerous records from various insurance companies, right?
yes,
And you obtained records not just for Paul Caneiro in terms of his finances, but you got the bank records for Keith Caneiro as well. You got his personal banking records, right?
I did,
And you got his personal American Express records, right?
I did. I was following the money of the businesses.
And you obtained multiple bank accounts unrelated to the business that were in the name Keith Caneiro, right?
Well, they were Keith Caneiro's personal accounts.
And you reviewed all of those accounts in terms of the information that you received, right? Because in order to follow the money, you would need to review the records.
Yes,
Your investigation really can't be complete if you haven't reviewed everything that you've got, right?
correct.
So I take that to mean that you reviewed everything that you got in this case, right?
Yes,
You reviewed every financial record that you received as a result of a Monmouth County subpoena that went out in this case, right?
well, I'd like to add this caveat. I subpoenaed Canada Life. There's relevant documents that are very relevant to a financial investigation and following the money. Canada Life, did you get the money? Can you show me you got the money? Can you show me where the money was applied? So hold on. If they sent me 3 inches thick of legal documents talking about a trust, I'm not an attorney to be able to interpret the legalese of that. But to the extent that I had to review documents as it relates to the financial component, yes.
Okay. I think the idea though is this. In order for you to have a complete investigation, you need to at least have eyes on everything that you receive. Is that fair to say?
Yes, but these were voluminous records.
Understood. We're talking about tens of thousands of pages of records, right?
Yes,
But, I mean, that was your job, right? Was to review these.
yes.
And I don't think you're here telling this jury that you didn't do your job, right?
No, I did my job.
Okay. One thing I wanted to talk to you about was your report that you had written on the history of money coming into and out of the trust account. And though we only talked about the years 2017 and 2018 today, your report encompassed more years than just that, right?
Yes,
Your report actually, you had obtained records in terms of that going back to 2014, right?
when my investigation started, yes.
Yeah. And you had actually reviewed those records from 2014 pertaining to the trust, right?
In terms of money going into the trust bank account? Can you clarify when you say the trust?
Yeah, I'm sorry. When I say the trust, I mean the trust account.
The bank account?
Yes,
TD
the
Bank, okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay, so you had written a report about money going into and out of the trust bank account in the years including 2014, right?
Yes,
One thing that we're going to see in 2014 and 15 and 16 is that money did leave the trust account and didn't go to the insurance policy, right?
yes,
But in 2014, all the money that was taken out of the trust account was paid back into that account.
can I refer to my supplemental report, please?
Yeah, I'll show it to you if you like. This is S56. I have it here. Yeah. Was this the report?
It's in front.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
In your report, you documented the money that was both taken out of and put back into the trust account in 2014, correct?
Yes,
And
taken out of the account being sent to Canada Life and taken out of the account sent to Paul Caneiro's personal accounts.
And so in 2014, you have a record of $46,000 going from the trust account to Paul Caneiro's personal account, right?
Correct,
And that money, then that same exact $46,000 goes from Paul Caneiro's account back into the trust account, right? In 2015, $27,000 comes out of the trust account and goes into Paul Caneiro's personal account. That's the record you have, right?
correct.
And $22,000 then comes from Paul's account and goes back into the trust account, right?
Leaving a difference of 5,000 to Paul.
In 2016, your records indicate that $17,700 was taken from the trust account and put into Paul's account.
Correct.
And then $14,700 is taken from Paul's account and put it back into the trust, right?
Leaving 3,000 in Paul's account, yes.
Now, another thing that we should mention about the trust in these years, and if you need to keep referring to that, that's fine. Just let me know based on this question. One of the things that we could look at when we looked at this trust account is whether it had been adequately funded over the years in order to make the quarterly payments to the insurance company, right?
Yes,
That's something that we could do by looking to the payroll deposits into the trust account,
I
right?
did that, yes.
So then you know that the trust account was being funded from the J. Martin business account in 2014,
Yes.
right? And then in 2015 as well,
Yes.
and then in 2016, right?
Now, Keith Caneiro was issued a paycheck in 2016. Federal withholding took out the brunt of it and other deductions. So the actual amount left in the check was zero. So there couldn't be a direct deposit. So the funding of the account in 14 from Keith Caneiro's paycheck was adequate enough to fund the payment of quarterly payments totaling $33,685.78. In 2015, there was not enough funding to fund the entire annual premium, even though it was paid quarterly, but the annual amount. So only $15,709.20 went to the premium. In 2016, nothing was paid to Canada Life,
Correct.
but $17,007 was taken out by Paul Caneiro to his personal account. $14,700 was paid back, leaving at the end of 2016, $8,000 to Paul.
Right.
And then in 2017,
But also in that year, 2016, deposits, not considering the in and out in terms of Paul's account, right? But deposits from the business account only equaled $13,526.
what year are you talking about? 2016?
Yes.
Right.
The deposits from the company only equaled $13,526. So that wasn't, so just my point is this, that's not sufficient to fund the quarterly payments to the life insurance.
No, it isn't, but in 2017, approximately 55,000 was funded to the account, and in 2018, approximately 53,000 was funded to the account.
Do you agree with me that the account was underfunded in 2014, 2015, and 2016?
No, I disagree in 14, I agree in 15 and 16.
Okay, but you would have to look at 14 because I believe, Detective, that it was underfunded by $4,865 that year.
We can look at the report, we can look at the records.
Beyond 2014, you also,
Well, I'm sorry, I'll add this. If it was underfunded by 4,000, it was so overfunded in 17 and 18 that it would have made up for the difference in what?
I wasn't asking you that question. I'm just asking you about previous years, right? You've already testified today about 17 and 18. We've heard your testimony. I'm just asking you about 14, 15, 16 at this point in time, okay? And I'm also curious about the Canada Life payment history that was sent to Keith Caneiro. At some point in this case, it was also included in the Canada Life documents. I think you've seen it before. Yes, you have it in your report.
Yes.
Judge, I have this marked as D64. It does appear verbatim within the detective's report, but I just want to show her this document to compare the two.
Go ahead. It's D what?
D64.
D64. Okay.
Or do you want to just, what year you started?
I'm looking to July of 99.
So let's do this first. Identify D64.
I do have it, I do.
Judge, I'm sorry. So Detective, what we're looking at in D64, what is this?
This is a chart provided by Canada Life Assurance Company. It's a chart that starts with the first date of July 28th, 1999. It has numerous columns. The first column reflects a payment amount, which back then were annual payments. And then through the years, the payments changed from annual to quarterly. So it will reflect the quarterly payments made.
Is it a spreadsheet?
It's a spreadsheet. I mean, I know you can't read the data, but you can see it's a spreadsheet. So it
It's a
starts.
spreadsheet from January 28th, 1999 until when?
The last entry date here is April 9th, 2018. Do you want me to give you the column headings?
No. I just need to know for the record. And you've seen that document before?
I have.
Where did you see it?
In
Before here.
the response documents from Canada Life Assurance Company.
Okay. So that's a part of the documents that you received.
Yes,
And it accurately depicts the documents that you received back from Canada Life whenever you received them.
it appears to be so.
Let's confirm that it is so.
I have a copy of it in my supplemental report, and I go back to July 28th, 99, and my last date is April. See how that's going to cut off. It's the same date, but April 9th, 2018.
So it's same.
Same.
Okay. Mr. Murray, please go ahead.
Now, Detective, when we look at that report or that payment history, we can see that there are other years when this insurance premium, or the policy, I should say, was not paid fully for the year.
What years are you referring to?
Well, I'm looking at 2007.
Okay.
I'm looking at 2011.
Okay.
I'm looking at 2010.
Well, I just want to point out, sir, that the very first premium payment in 1999 was $29,640. And I testified earlier that the quarterly premiums totaled $31,418.60. So the premiums increased once they went quarterly. It was a lesser of a premium when it was annually. So when you're going back through those years, you would need to know when it was annual and when it switched to quarterly. And then there was a difference in monies due to Canada Life.
Perhaps, but we can see in 2004 in April that the payment was $7,854.60, which is the same as the quarterly payment in later years.
Right, but it does look then that it was quarterly.
And regardless of that fact, in 2003, we only see a payment for $16,200.
Correct.
So it would appear that in those years that we talked about, as well as the years that you've testified about previously, the policy in terms of the premium weren't fully paid.
But I would not know if the TD Bank account was underfunded.
You would not, but you also saw in this case that payments were made from the TD trust account in previous years, not just to Canada Life, and they didn't just go into Paul Caneiro's personal accounts, but over the past years, withdrawals from that trust account were made into J. Martin business accounts.
My bank records in this case did not go back to 2004.
No, I don't imagine that they did.
Banks don't even retain information beyond 7 years, or they don't have to.
Agreed. The question was not that. The question was, you had indication in the trust records that you did have in the discovery, the trust account records, that withdrawals were made not just to Paul Caneiro personal accounts over the years, but they were also made to this J. Martin or Square One business accounts.
In the years I reviewed the TD Bank account that held the trust bank account, I did not see funds go from the trust account back to the business.
In the years you reviewed.
If they did, if you show me the documents, then I can correct my statement, but to the best of my recollection.
Outside of the statements, did you see any spreadsheets showing transfers in and out of that trust account in previous years?
Did I see transfers out of the TD Bank trust account?
Did you see spreadsheets demonstrating transfers in and out of that account?
There were transfers into the account for purposes of funding the premium payments to Canada Life.
Right.
But
I'm talking about transfers, not payroll. I'm talking about transfers in and out from the. I'm just going to show you.
if you have a document, please show me and I can review.
This is D41. Just going to show you this. You recognize that?
This is the TD Bank account, trust account ending in 5465. This is January 1st, 2014 through January 31st, 2014. Okay.
Okay. Does this appear? Can I just have that back for 1 second? Thank you. Does this? You've seen this before today, right?
Yes.
You reviewed this as part of writing that supplemental report you've been referring to today?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to show you the period of April 1st through 30th, 2014, and I'm going to ask you to look to April 24th, and you see.
Okay.
Okay. And there's a debit on this account, right?
Understood, not disputing it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recollect firsthand back to 2014, but yes, on April 24th, there's a transfer of $11,000 back to
I don't think you have it on there.
1361. This is, I do have this account. I did subpoena this account, and I would need to see the subpoena to have the name, but it would belong to one of the businesses.
Yeah. Could I? Can I have that back? Okay, yeah. Thank you. Okay. So that was a transfer out of the trust account to an account ending in 1361, right?
Yes.
And if I told you that 1361 was a J. Martin business account that had been closed in years prior to 2018, would that refresh your recollection?
Is that the business that closed December 31st of 2012?
No.
Okay.
But you do have a recollection of an account ending.
I do.
Okay. Okay. Now, when you testified on direct today, you mentioned that payments have been made directly from Paul's 3837 account to the trust account, right? I misspoke. I apologize.
Well,
What I meant to say, yes,
Go ahead.
what I meant to say was payments have been made by Paul from Paul's personal account directly to the insurance company to pay the insurance policy.
Are you, which years are you referring to? The years of my analysis for my role here in this trial,
Yes.
2017 and 18?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And so your question again then is?
Paul had made payments from his personal account directly to the insurance company in order to pay that insurance policy.
In 2017, yes, he did.
On July 21st, he paid $8,000, right?
Correct?
And then on August 7th, Paul from his own account paid $11,880.
Correct.
And together that's $19,880.
Correct.
And we should point out that Canada Life accepted both of those payments.
Yes, they did.
They didn't refuse payment because the checks were sent from outside of the trust account, right?
Nope, they accepted payment as a quarterly premium payment, and the $11,880 check, the entire amount was applied to the loan payment for prior missed premium payments.
Right. And the loan, obviously, we saw in D64 had existed for many, many years as of 2017.
Yes.
Judge, I'm going to ask permission to publish D64.
12? Okay, go ahead.
Oh. Yeah, I think it's plugged in. Thank you. Okay. Just showing you the first page of D64. Obviously, when we look to the left side of that spreadsheet, we see a date.
Yes.
And then when we look all the way to the right of the spreadsheet, we see a column for loan balance.
Yes.
And that shows all years that there was a loan balance on the policy, right?
Yes.
Okay. And we can see that there are entries on the loan balance side of the sheet going all the way back to 2002, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to remove this.
Okay.
Your supplemental report talks about, you had actually listed it as a negative in the column, and it was transfers that Paul made in 2018 to the J. Martin operating account.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
On April 26th of 2018, Paul transferred $5,000 to the J. Martin business account, right?
Yes.
And on May 15th of 2018, I'm sorry, I should also say on April 30th of 2018, Paul transferred $10,000 to the J. Martin account, right?
Yes.
On May 15th of that same year, he transferred $11,400 to that account.
Yes.
And then again on May 15th, he transferred an additional $807 to the J. Martin account, right?
Yes.
Now, all of these dates take place late April through mid-May, right?
Yes.
Of 2018.
Yes.
And you know that he issued with Keith finding out about the insurance not being paid in April. That issue happened before any of these payments, right?
I conducted my financial investigation without going deep into everything else on the exterior, like pouring in to know more about if he's upset or not upset, because I wanted to look at the financial analysis independently with no bias, no anything else in my mind, just let the numbers and the analysis speak for themselves.
So I guess my question though is more like, you knew, or it came to your attention at some point in time, that there was this email involving Paul, Ron Artigis, Keith Caneiro, and Steve Weinstein from April 11th of 2018.
Yes, at some point, yes.
Right? And that email is actually is one of the state's exhibits in this case, right?
Yes.
In that email, one of the things that it appears, right, that it's written from Paul, right?
Yes.
And it's about payments that were not made to the insurance company.
Yes.
showing you S11. You recognize that?
This would be the email you're referring to?
Yes.
Yes,
Could you look at the second page, please?
sure.
Is there a section where what is referenced is the amount that is owed to Keith plus interest for the payments that didn't make it to the insurance company?
Are you referring to this dialogue here?
Yes.
Would you like me to read it?
I just wanted you to read the section on payments with interest. Thank you. And so that says amount owed to trust plus interest, $25,806.41.
Yes.
Okay. That email, right, was dated April 11, 2018.
Yes,
And then we see Paul make payments between April 26th and May 15th of 2018 in the amount of $27,207. Right? And he makes those payments to the J. Martin business account, right?
yes.
And then in terms of the $5,000 and $10,000 payments in April, do you know what happened to them afterwards?
I'm not sure I understand your question. How was he able to make those payments?
No. Once they went into the account, did they stay in the account or did they go someplace else?
Once Paul made those electronic transfers back to J. Martin, I would need to look at the bank statements and then I could tell you what happened with those funds.
I don't believe the state has labeled this document. Judge, I'm going to approach with what I marked as D30. Do you recognize? I'm just going to hold a page of it, okay?
Okay, sure.
Do you recognize that?
This is a TD Bank account in the name of J. Martin Consulting, Inc., DBA Square One, account number ending in 1396, which would be account number 6 on the chart.
So something that we talked about maybe briefly today. But it's the J. Martin operating account, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Now, we said that the first payment that Paul made from his account to the business account took place in April 26th of 18, right?
yes. Yes,
Okay. Transfer in from Paul, right?
yes,
Transfer out to 1934.
right.
Then we got a transfer, $10,000 transfer in from Paul.
But we also don't know, once it's in 1934, you have to follow it till its final destination.
I'll take you there. 10,000 in, right?
Yeah.
And then 10,000 out.
To the same account, 1934.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is D52. I'm just going to hold the page.
Okay, sure.
Whatever you like.
Okay. So this is a TD Bank statement in the name of Keith and Jennifer Caneiro, ending in 1934.
So that's the account we just saw. That now we know that Paul's account goes to the business account, and from the business account, it goes to this account, right?
Yes, but like the 10,000 goes into this account and then it's sent right out to J. Martin payroll. So Keith's putting it back into the business. And account 2949.
Yeah, take another look at that.
Okay. Right now, you'd have to show me what account that is.
Okay.
I don't recollect that account number.
Yeah, but just for our purposes for right now, we can see that both transfers into 1934 went to an account ending in 2949. Right?
2949.
Both of them did.
Both of them
Right.
did.
Neither one of them went to payroll.
No.
Okay.
I can see that now.
Okay.
But I'd like to see the statements for 2949.
Jump to you. Judge, this is D54.
Okay, and this is TD Bank statement, account ending in 2949, in the name of Keith Caneiro. Okay, so the 5,000 comes in and the 10,000 comes in. Okay,
Okay. And the money is
Okay.
money's withdrawn overseas.
well, they had a home there.
Right. But the money's withdrawn in Greece, right?
It is.
Okay.
But when you look at the totality, and that's why you do a financial analysis, I just saw in that bank statement that 2 entries down, over 11,000, Keith put into a payroll account for the business. So to point out that transaction where it's going into an account that ultimately was utilized in Greece, on the same day or the next day, he's taking more than 10,000.
You asked
Right.
me to see it though.
I did.
Did you not?
But I
I-
pointing out that you do a comprehensive analysis when you're analyzing the funds.
Did you analyze these funds when you did the comprehensive
I
analysis?
reviewed those statements, but I was not following Keith's money. I was following Paul Caneiro's funds.
Well-
Because that's what was taken out of the trust account. That's where it all started.
Now, here's the thing. I point this out to you because, as you said, Keith had a house in Greece, right?
Yes,
That he was working on. He was renovating it and he needed to put money into it, right?
yes,
That's it. It's another thing that during this period of time, Keith was working on that he needed to devote money and resources towards, right?
yes.
After this thing happens in April, on April 11th, with Paul saying he paid the wrong person and that the money didn't go to the insurance company. Paul takes $27,000 and he puts it in the business account, right?
He took loans out to generate the ability to have funds to then put back in the business because Keith identified the amount of premium payments that hadn't been paid for a period of time.
I think that, yeah, right. I think that was my question, right? But then Paul puts the money into the account, right? And then Keith takes it out of the account, right?
That one isolated transaction he took out of the account, but he also used his funds to fund payroll.
Okay. Those two transactions that we were looking at, right? My point to you is this. They don't go to Canada Life. They go to Greece for whatever purposes they were needed for in Greece, right?
Right.
So Keith obviously, if we're following the money, Keith obviously made the determination at that point in time that the money was better put being sent to Greece than being sent to Canada Life.
Keith could not make a payment directly to Canada Life. Paul was the trustee. Paul was in the position to move that money from the TD Bank account to Canada Life.
You say that, but the problem is that we already talked about the payments that Paul made from his personal account.
But he's the trustee.
I mean, it's his personal account. The Canada Life accepted the payments.
He's the trustee. Trustee has significant control over that account, if not all control.
You're testifying as an expert on trusts?
No, I'm talking about the bank account.
You're testifying as an expert in insurance on the laws and regulations regarding checks from whom insurance companies can accept as far as irrevocable trust accounts?
No, I'm
You're not.
speaking about the bank account.
Okay, well, we're not talking about the bank account. We're talking about the fact that the insurance company accepted checks from outside of the trust account.
You'd have to talk to them as to why they accepted that.
I'm talking to you only because you said that he couldn't have made a payment himself. There's a number of things he could have done. He could have put the money back into the trust account directly, correct? It's a yes or no question. He could have, right?
When you open up a bank account, it tells you what you have to articulate to the financial institution, how you plan on funding that account, and it was to be funded through payroll deposits. The trustee is on the signature card and on the account. So a trustee at a financial institution on a bank account can move money in and out. In my experience in banking, in my experience in financial crimes, I do know that.
Sure. My point to you, though, is this. Checks were sent to the insurance company from bank accounts other than the TD trust account. Is that true or not true?
It's sent from the trustee's name in his account. He's the trustee, so Canada Life would accept that.
And are you
Obviously, they did accept it. It's recorded as a payment received.
Are you insinuating, though, that if somebody else attempted to deposit or transfer money into the trust account, that TD would have prevented them from doing so?
Now I'm articulating to what they will accept. When your name is on the signature card, when you're the trustee for the trust, they will accept payments. That person is able to move money in and out of the account.
Now,
TD Bank had a copy of the actual trust.
We can talk about that too, sure. TD Bank did have a copy of the trust, right?
Yes,
And that was faxed to them?
yes,
And that was faxed. It would appear from the Square One office, right?
I'd have to look and refresh my memory on your document.
Okay.
I do know it was fax.
Okay. I have it here, if you'd like to see it. This is D40, it's the trust documents, but they're the ones from TD Bank.
Yeah, we already showed it though, right? As exhibit.
It's a different document, Judge, because it
Oh, it's
has,
different?
well, first and foremost, it has the fax information at the top of it.
Can you just show it to the prosecutors at least? I'm sorry, tell me the number again, please.
D40.
D40. Okay.
Is that what you were talking about? The one that was faxed to TD Bank?
I believe so. This appears to
Identify
be
the
one.
document for me.
Sure, Your Honor. This is the Keith Caneiro irrevocable trust agreement. It is dated July 27th, 1999. Are there any more identifiers you would like?
I think there was something on the front page that counsel said was important. I just need to know, is that the fax copy? Is that what we're talking about?
It does appear to be faxed.
I'm very sorry about that. Didn't mean to slow you down. Go ahead.
Thank you. So, you know what, while we're here, we see that it starts at page 4, right?
Yes,
The fax starts at page 4.
Right.
Right, and then there's a bait stamp at the bottom,
yes,
and the bait stamp is basically placed there by the prosecutor's office, right?
correct.
Okay, if I were to thumb through this, you'd be able to see that there's no pages missing from the Bates numbers.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
But the interesting thing about this document, the one that was sent to TD Bank, is that the trust is numbered. The trust agreement is numbered in terms of pages, but it's missing page 6.
Okay,
And page 6 is where, in the other copy, in the actual insurance policy that Canada Life had, in that copy, page 6 lists the beneficiary information.
that is what TD Bank sent. It's very difficult to get documents going back that far. The fact that it's not complete is not a surprise to me. You're talking about an account that was opened way back when, and we subpoenaed this in 2018.
Well, let me just let you take a second look at this, though. Because if we go back to D40, right?
Yep.
And I go to page 5 of the trust document itself,
Right,
that's page 10 of the fax that was sent to them,
right,
right? And if I go to page 7,
Yep.
because we're missing page 6, it's
Right.
page 11 of the fax.
right.
So it was actually, when it was sent to TD Bank, it didn't include the beneficiary information.
Okay,
That's the way it would appear, right?
that's the way it appears.
And this is the copy that was to go to TD Bank in order to open and administer the trust account, right?
The business checking account, which was the trust account, yes.
But the trust account,
Right.
right? And Paul Caneiro was, as of this date, also listed as the trustee of the trust, right?
Yes,
But somebody, and obviously Paul Caneiro was going to, as the trustee, have control over that TD trust account, right?
correct.
And he was going to have control over the documents that were part of that account, right?
Specifically, what documents are you referring to?
Well, it could be foundational documents, it could be bank records. He would have access. You're just telling me about they'll accept checks from him because he's the trustee. So he's got certain privileges in this account that other people do not, correct?
Because he's listed as the trustee.
Right.
Right, so he would be getting the bank records, yes.
Right. And so obviously, as the trustee, he's got access to these documents related to the trust from TD Bank.
That I don't know.
You know,
I don't know.
let me, I just want to stop this over clear. You know that the insurance company will accept a check from Paul from any account because he's the trustee, but you don't know if Paul has access to documents in possession of the bank related to the bank account?
I'll address the first part. Canada Life accepted checks from Paul Caneiro because I have evidence to prove that they accepted it. You put it in as an exhibit, I have it in my report. They accepted those 2 checks in 2017. When someone's listed as the trustee, the financial institution is going to deal with them and accept his check. With regard to having his name on the TD bank account that was set up to collect the premiums to pay to Canada Life, The individual, the signer on the account, Paul's the trustee, signer, he would have access to the bank statements. Does that mean a bank is giving you copies of everything they have in their file? Every bank has their own policy and procedure for how they handle that. Was Paul the one that physically handed that policy or physically faxed it? If he wasn't the one who physically faxed it, if it was another person who faxed it, did Paul or did Keith give that person who faxed it those documents? I don't know who gave him the documents to fax. That was how many years ago? So I do not know, and I can't say for certain if TD Bank is going to give the defendant or anyone who's listed as the trustee all the documents they get to open up the account. Statements,
So that was a lot of maybes, right?
but it's the truth.
Another maybe is maybe whoever faxed that to TD Bank, knowing Paul was the trustee, didn't want to include that beneficiary information in the trust document that they were sending.
I wouldn't know that.
Because maybe they didn't want Paul to see that he was a potential beneficiary.
Aren't we speculating? Is someone going to see that? I'll say it. Speculation sustained.
Sign the trust. Have you heard for a second, Judge? Sorry.
No, Ms. Wallace,
Sidebar here.
come on up.
And you could also just as easily put money into a payroll account. It's fine for an owner to do something like that, right?
Yes.
When you look at the J. Martin account,
Operating or payroll?
when you looked at 1396, the operating account, you noticed that there were operational costs, including American Express bills, right?
Yes.
And you actually obtained the American Express records for that bank account that were getting paid by that bank account, correct?
Yes.
Did you review those records?
American Express was well over 10,000 pages. I had my hands on it to review. So a review can be scrolling through. A full-blown analysis would be, analyzing every purchase and every payment made.
So which did you do?
It depends what account he's talking about.
Okay. You want to get specific, Mr. Murray?
So this is account 4003. I can share, if it helps, I'll just show it to you.
Please, thank you.
Sure. This is D61. It's not the full records, it's the part one of those records.
Okay. Would you like me to articulate what I'm looking at? Or-
Yeah, sure.
Okay. These are American Express statements. It's a business platinum card in the name of J. Martin Consulting, Keith M. Caneiro. The closing date on the page I'm looking at is December 26, 2016. And it's account ending in 4003.
Thanks. Did you review the records related to that account?
I would have reviewed them, yes.
Okay. So you would have seen that Keith, Jennifer, Paul, Tiffany Rivera, and Larissa Glorioso all had cards on that account.
I would have seen that, yes.
And you would have seen that over the course of 2017, for example, Paul's total charges to that account were $18,487.
I don't remember specifically, but I would have reviewed it.
Okay. And you would have reviewed the fact that Keith had a total spending of $104,549 on that card, right?
I don't remember specifically, but I would have reviewed that.
And specifically, Jennifer had spending of $27,750 on that card.
Again, same answer. I don't remember specifically. He is a 90% owner of that business.
And your understanding was that Jennifer worked there or did not work there?
My understanding is that she did not work there.
Did not?
Did not.
And then I'm just going to show you also This is D 62. Here's it's the same account, right?
Okay, do you want me to articulate some of that? Sure, thank you. Okay, this is American Express statements for a business platinum card in the name of J. Martin Consulting, Keith M. Caneiro. The date of the statement that I'm looking at, the closing date is January 26, 2018, account number ending in 4003.
You reviewed these records also, right?
Yes.
And so going to later in the year, we would have seen that a person, aside from the names that we already mentioned as cardholders on this account, a different cardholder by the name of Konstantinos Karidis was added to the account.
Okay.
And to your knowledge, that was not an employee of J. Martin or Square One, right?
To my knowledge, no.
And to your knowledge, Square One really had one main client, right?
One main and several other smaller clients, yes.
And their main client was in New Jersey.
Correct.
So now, if there was, to your knowledge, did Square One have any clientele in Greece?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. You issued several reports, in this case, in the year, 2 reports, I should say, in the year 2025. One of those reports, the purpose of it was to correct some errors you had made in your previous reports, right?
Yes.
You, I believe, initially left out that Paul had received an additional $63,000 in money from Social Security Administration in 2017.
Now, the correction for the Social Security amounts is this. The defendant received 2 large lump sums from Social Security. And let me refer to my report so I can articulate accurately. Okay. In 2017, Paul received 2 large lump sum payments from Social Security. The first was on July 12th, 2017, in the amount of $61,535. The next payment was 6 days later on July 18th, 2017, in the amount of $63,101. So in my initial report, I added one of those numbers twice. In my second report, I corrected it so I could include both numbers accurately. So we went from 139,798 to 141,364. An addition error.
Now, one of the things you did when you wrote your first report was you characterized transactions between Paul's personal accounts as revenue to him.
Revenue stream, not revenue in the sense of a salary. A revenue stream would be available for you to use in that year. So if revenue came into that account, if that's what you're referring to, it was available for use in that year, used to pay expenses.
Right. I was just looking at the titles to your pages of the breakdown of income and expenses. It doesn't say revenue stream, it just says sources of revenue / income.
Sources of revenue, a stream of revenue.
But then you updated that and you took that information out of your report. You took those sources, those transfers between accounts out of your report.
Because I wanted to give the defendant the benefit, and in that area, it was determined that bank account revenue sources, because the amounts were determined to be duplicative, so I didn't want to utilize an amount twice. I re-reviewed the report and I gave the defendant the benefit.
I mean, is it about giving him the benefit or reporting the right numbers, though?
Both.
Um,
Because hypothetically, if it was 20,000 in the first report and I re-reviewed it and it was determined that the amounts were duplicative and it was 10 and 10, then I'm saying your revenue is 10 instead of 20, as an example.
I mean, maybe I'm just confused. Because I thought that the net impact of you making that change, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought the net impact of you making that change was that it reduced your conclusion of Paul's revenue by $22,000 in 2017,
Right.
and it reduced your conclusion of Paul's revenue by $57,000 in 2018. Do I have that right?
But not for that topic. You're talking overall in every category that an adjustment was made. Are you speaking just to the bank account revenue sources, which was deemed duplicative and it was eliminated for 2017 and 18?
I'm talking about yes, what you characterize as revenue. Yes.
Okay.
Now, so you're saying that when you wrote your first report, you knew that you were including that information as revenue. And then when you wrote your second report, you knew that you weren't including it as revenue.
When I put the motive together and wrote the first report, then after that, I had time to really go back and re-review. And I made sure that the numbers were accurate. And in this instance, I removed it because I realized it had been duplicated.
Okay. Now, you also corrected, I believe, various entries that you made in that report about an auto reimbursement for 2017, right?
Which one are you referring to specifically?
What's labeled as 2017 auto reimbursement? $27,290.11.
Okay. Okay.
So in the first report, you had calculated that differently, right? And then you had to go back and you had to make a correction to that report, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly what it was. It was a check in the amount of $375 that inadvertently ended up being in that area when it shouldn't have. So I reduced the amount of the auto reimbursement because I took out that check that should not have been there. So it was reduced by $375.
I mean, it's a minor point, but you know that those numbers only come to 27,290 if you include other miscellaneous reimbursements from the payroll other than the auto reimbursement, right?
The auto reimbursement, there is a line item on the payroll journals, and it tells you exactly how much it is. So,
Right. Yeah, I have them.
okay.
But you know that when you calculated that number, you included miscellaneous reimbursements, not just auto reimbursements.
You can show me the statements from TPP payroll journals. To my recollection, it said auto reimbursement.
Okay.
Counsel? All right, ladies and gentlemen, even an earlier day today. Thank you. Nothing. I'm kidding. So I'm going to let you go for today. It's been a long day for you all. I'd rather have you back fresh tomorrow morning. So I'm going to let you go home. You'll do the same thing tomorrow as we did today. You'll be downstairs at 8. We'll get you right up here by 8:30 and get you started. But let's get you out of here for today so you can get home. So.
Holy cow, that means she got to come back in the morning, y'all. Oh my. So that means they are not even done with her because I'm pretty sure they're going to have a little bit of redirect. Good grief. Holy moly. Holy moly. Holy moly. So we know we got that. I am going to premiere day 6 of the Bellotti trial. That will be premiering. It'll probably be like Marilda time, like 11 or 12. So, guys, if y'all want to hang out with anybody and watch it, it'll be premiering later on this evening if you're up. Yeah, if y'all want to check that out. If not, I know Marilda will be over there and she'll be watching it and hanging out with me in some shape, way, form, or fashion. That's her morning time, So 11 o'clock our time is, her morning time. So it's about 7. It'll be about 7 her time. Okay, so we'll start off tomorrow with this trial. We'll do just like we did today. Once our trial in New Jersey starts, and we'll get into that trial at 10 because it doesn't start at 10 o'clock. This one starts on the earlier side, so this one starts about 6:30, 7 o'clock. About 7 o'clock, I want to say he starts. So we'll get into this trial at 7 o'clock, and as soon as our trial with the all power does, then we'll get into that trial. So it'll be about 10 or 11. So your time is gonna be 10, Dandy. It'll be 11 my time, and then it'll be like 7 or 8 her time. Yeah, it'll be about 10 your time, Dandy. Oh, you in Mountain Standard Time? Or you in Cali time? I thought you were in Cali time. You'll be ready. You gonna be ready for tomorrow, Pretty Brown? Because you ain't gonna be ready tonight. Talk about I'll be ready. She must be talking about tomorrow. She'll be ready for tomorrow's trial because she'll be good asleep. Yeah, well, worst case scenario, like I said, I'm gonna put it. Dandy is in Mountain Standard Time. Well, I'm in Mountain Standard Time. You say you'll be. I know. I'm like she'll be going to bed. Um, yeah. So mountains. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Why I keep want to put you in California, Dandy? Dang. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, right now we're not about to get. I'm gonna premiere a video later for people that want to watch the ballet trial. I don't know why I want to call it ballet. The Uvalde trial. Y'all will let me keep saying the stuff wrong. Uvalde trial. Um, some people still want to, watch that, and I want to make sure that I can premiere it. And then we got people that be overnight that be want to kind of like watch stuff. So, like OnlyFan and Mariel, they just up there in regards to something, and you can hang. And they usually get a pretty good amount of company. So I'm gonna premiere that for them so they can watch it. But other than that, that takes care of everything that we need to do today. And we'll be back in these courtrooms tomorrow. I appreciate everybody hanging out, supporting the channel, supporting the chat today. And yeah, and I will see you guys in the courtroom tomorrow early. I guess I'm gonna I gotta get the notifications out. I'll get those out in a second.
When Sweet Pea taps in, you know the courtroom lights go bright. Trials running long, but the family's here every night. Mars on patrol, chatter showing out. This little YouTube corner's what community's about. Therapists you know, steady holding down the floor. Behind the scenes magician, keeping peace like never before. A banner king, a rule keeper too. Every channel dreams of a mind like you. Jason walks in and the ladies lose control. Down to earth king with the warmest soul. Film freaks, kindness, man, it's always on display. Fair and sweet and cheering folks along the way. And Marilia from SA keeps the laughter rolling free. Joking, shining, keeping spirits where they need to be. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. We debate, we laugh, we lift each other higher. This courtroom crew is everything we admire. Yeah, always loyal, always tuned. If true crime news drops, he brings it to the room. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. We debate, we laugh, we lift each other higher. This courtroom crew is everything we admire. Yeah, no matter what the case so far, we're forever taken to trial. Take it to trial. Shamrock keeps us trending, replay queen, holding down the algorithm like a machine. Estes razor sharp, loyal through and through. And yeah, she adores chasing nothing new. Drunky the bear with the white claws, way managing volunteers like she runs the whole land. Cynthia brings inside with take sharp and steady. Donna keeps it real, 911 and always ready till he burns the fat queen. Receipts on tap, Easy's new, but she blends right into the pack. Tennessee, hard live, try support her with pride. Melly shows up a family for cooking for his dog. A steady carrying presence through the courtroom fog. And Brooklyn in the house, always bringing that spark. Lighting up the chat like a shout in the dark. Barker loves her grand, speaks truth when it's time. Micrograms with metaphors straight up sublime. Barbara biggest supporter, heart kind and vast. Looking for missing kids, hope to truly last. Only fan from Singapore, flag name but sweet. Still shows up with love every time he takes a seat. And even the part-timers keep this place alive. Curviel, Irish Amy, Capri Law, Hellcat, our tribe. Hearts wide open, stories shared, holding space because we care. From every corner of the world we climb to spend these nights together, one trial at a time. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. Minds and shatters, yeah, this love is something rare. A courtroom crew with hearts beyond compare. No matter what the case or file, we're forever taken to trial.